And so that was fun. And
let me
one
guess,
of my daughters was home.
The little dog loved it, and the big dog hated it.
No, the reverse.
Oh,
man.
really? Okay.
No, the little one was like, this sucks. And she's seen snow a few times. I wonder, and I'm serious about this, and some of you who are better into canine psychology than I am, despite having been a dog owner for the vast majority of my life, like, how much of a memory do dogs keep of snow, especially dogs that live around here that don't get snow every year, or don't get snow routinely. Like, I wonder, because, or is she just getting older? She's like 8.5 now, and she just, she doesn't really like, she doesn't go out in the rain. She's kind of a diva. Whereas my big yellow lab, she couldn't care less, dude. She'd run into like a nuclear fallout shelter and be like, or or just nuclear fallout.
Don't run into Chernobyl. No, come back.
She'd be like, what's wrong with you, man? There's something in there. I'm going in. I'm good.
It's glowing. She couldn't care less. It's glowing. Come on, let's go play.
She couldn't care less. But no, it was fun, man. We had a nice fire. Made some homemade potato soup. It was a good weekend, man. It was a good weekend.
Homemade potato soup.
Yeah, it was good. Man. And we didn't have any major sporting events to worry about. I watched the Carolina men lose in overtime, and I believe we're going to spend a significant portion of this hour discussing that. Mm-hmm. But no football.
Wasn't it weird after we have football for so long, almost every weekend look, I love college hoops, but it's like without football, it's just it's not like, well, my life is empty, but it's like it just feels weird that you're not. No,
it's different. There's a little withdrawal, and of course, as you know, I'm a big Premier League fan, so there was plenty of Premier League on. I got to watch that, and Arsenal had a nice win up at Leeds. I watched Alabama and Florida, and that was yesterday. Watched Todd Golden's team back up Todd's guarantee that they would beat Alabama. Not only did they beat Alabama, they beat Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Tide. It was a nice game. Most of the first half, Florida came out of the gate. Second half, just on fire. Bama had one little spurt in the second half to, I think, get it back to like 12 or something.
Right.
I think after Florida was up 20.
Mm-hmm.
But Florida won comfortably, and Alabama's taken a lot of heat for what they've done. And you were talking with me earlier today about a kid out at UCLA that actually did appear in an NBA game that wants to do this. And at some point, and we'll talk about it at the top of the four. I think we're going to get into more of this, so I won't go crazy on it now. But if schools are going to unanimously support the decisions of the formation of the College Sports Commission and want to abide by the things that it's trying to do, and then you have not only some schools, but when you have and forgive me, Mississippi. You know what? I'll count Ole Miss. But seriously, Terry, when you have Alabama and UCLA flouting these rules and saying, well, hey, until somebody does something about it, which I understand that point of view, but these are Alabama and UCLA. Even if Bama's doing it in hoops and not football. Where Mississippi's doing some things in football. And again, different stories, but all intertwined with the wild, wild west that is college athletics. If you're going to support these things in public forums or private forums or in meetings with ADs and presidents, and then you come back and do crap like this, there needs to be some kind of fallout. And I don't know what that looks like, Terry. And again, we'll talk about it later. So again, I didn't mean to go too far with it, but
I'll just say one thing.
I'll say this. I enjoyed watching Florida yesterday, even though I'm not a huge Todd Golden fan. I enjoyed watching Florida stick it to Alabama, if for no other reason than Todd Golden, the Florida head coach, has been very publicly out front about how he feels about what Bama is doing. And suffice it to say, he is not at all supportive of what Alabama is doing.
No, and look, trust me, a lot of folks are in that long line not supportive of what Alabama's doing right now. And even though it is creepy to root for Todd Golden. But anyway, here's my thing. Schools totally support this CSC thing as long as it benefits them. When it doesn't benefit them, they go around the rules and they go to their local courts and their local municipalities to try to get around it to benefit themselves. But when it comes to trying to, work on player compensation or something that affects their wallet, they're all for that thing, right? But the minute they can get around it to benefit themselves, they're running straight to the courts. See, again, that's the problem with college athletics, Jay. We'll talk about later. There's no one to take care of the sport. Everybody's taking care of themselves. And so it's case by case. Like, you love it when it benefits you, but when you want to go around it to benefit you, you go around it and you run to the court systems. It's just crazy.
Well, all while say, like Greg Byrne, the AD at Alabama, and again, well, you know what? Stay tuned, people.
Yeah,
I'll get into this next hour. We're going to talk Gamecocks and some other things, but Greg Byrne had one of the more, and Greg Byrne is one of the most respected ADs in the country, which again makes this difficult. But he had one of the most disingenuous quotes about what Alabama is doing that I've ever read, and he did it in a way that makes it sound like he is a college professor giving you a really positive lecture on the state of affairs of politics or something like that. And I'm like, dude,
stop yourself. So, right. Right. We'll get into it.
I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely.
But if you want to hear me get my blood pressure up a little bit later on, stay tuned.
Be careful with that, man. You're a man that has to get blood pressure taken. You got to calm down a little bit now.
I know. I have to be.
Take a breath.
I have to be careful.
Take a breath.
I have to be careful. There's other things too. By the way, did you know that Mississippi has been accused of tampering by another school, not just Clemson?
Get out of here.
They have, man. It was Fresno State of all places.
How about that? Yeah.
So again, we'll probably talk on that later too.
Can I play something that'll make you'll enjoy it? Did you hear? I mean, obviously, you were watching. You're watching the Florida Bama game. Did you hear the chant? When,
I heard him say something about it because it was.
Let me see if you can hear it. I'll play it for you real quick, and here I'm gonna try to get it. It's from the game when Bediako goes to the free throw line, and of course, unless you don't know, Charles Bediako was the player who, after being in the G League for a few years, decided to come back to Alabama, and where all the controversy is. Here's when Bediako goes to the line.
That foul on that guy, Alex Condon.
Trying to tap it in. It was just
Okay, now I hear it.
How funny is that? G League dropout.
G League dropout.
I love
That's
it.
good.
That's so good.
Well, you know what? And I want to leave this as a thought for people right now. Again, we can discuss this later. I know I keep saying that, but we keep coming up to it because, again, this is one of the most, just dominant topics for college sports fans right now. We've talked a lot about a collective bargaining agreement, and I'm going to sound really naive as I ask this, Terry. That's okay, despite the fact that I've been around college sports my whole life. But when a young man or a young lady signs these days, primarily they sign their national letter of intent. Some also sign financial aid agreements and other things like that, and they're bound to certain lines in the contract or whatever else. But we know right now they're not bound by much else, and they're certainly seemingly not even bound by being an enrolled student getting back into the port. Again, the case at Clemson, and again, locally I understand that there might be a lot of you that say, oh, it's Clemson, Crimea River. Mm-hmm. I get it. But this could be Big State U anywhere, all right, or Big Private U anywhere or whatever. But you had an enrolled student being tampered with by a current head coach of another major program, an enrolled student. Think about that. But here's my point. Here's my question, Terry. And again, I say I may sound naive when I ask this, but I'm just curious from a legal standpoint, and lawyers may have to help me with this, why we can't get some type of standardized national NCAA form or even conference by conference form that, again, a young high school student athlete signs that would bind them to the rules in the same way, and look, if the rules are so out of whack antitrust-wise that they're going to be challenged the way they have, then you don't put those in there. But where are we in terms of the things that have changed with the House settlement and with the prominent attorneys that fought for the plaintiffs, the student athletes, in those cases? Where are we? Or in the Alston case that saw the Supreme Court Rule 9-0 against the NCAA. Why can't we take some of those positives from the rulings, put that into some type of standard form that, again, a young man or a young lady signs coming out of high school, where they know here's the transfer rule. Yes, you have the right to NIL compensation, and certain other things. But if you're enrolled, you're enrolled, and the next opportunity for your transfer window is the next transfer window opening, and all those. Again, I don't mean to sound naive, but I'm just curious as to where the lines have to be drawn in terms of what someone could be bound by, even if it is not collectively bargained, just based on the things that have been settled and put in front of us in these last couple of years from a positive growth standpoint for student athletes. And you see what I'm saying? Yeah,
because, look, this was never on an episode of Matlock, so I got no clue on this thing. But now I'm like with you. Like, for an example, you sign a letter of intent, and the minute you sign a letter of intent, nobody can bother you, right? You're in, right? Nobody can come tamper with you before you get to campus or whatever.
So we thought. So we thought.
Now, again, that's what we think. But when you sign your NIL agreement, they say that's not an employment contract. It's different. It can't stand up in court because it's not an employment contract. You're not an employee. So the Big Ten, though, to further confuse us, has put language in their agreements that stopped, Damon Williams from leaving UW because he had to pay X amount of money back on a buyout to get out of that agreement to go and leave Washington and go to, we surmise, LSU. So what did the Big Ten do? What is the Big Ten putting? From what I've read, it's uniform in the Big Ten, this language. So, again, to your point, everybody take a step back, see what the Big Ten is putting in their language, and maybe this is just a start, Jay, because I'm like you. I don't get all this. My head starts to hurt.
Well, because if what happened with this Fornelli kid at Clemson is allowed to go completely unpunished, then there is absolutely no restriction at all on any student athlete being contacted, tampered with. You can give it the most vanilla, nice name, or you can call it tampering or worse. Yeah. And it isn't going to be stopped. Well, again, this kid was sitting in a class in Clemson, South Carolina, and Pete Golding sent him a contract offer for all practical purposes for $1 million a season. And here's while the kid was sitting in a class at another school, enrolled as a student at another school. And again, if that can happen and the kid can re-enter the portal during the same portal, what are we doing? And those are the things that need to be fixed. So, again, whether you're a Carolina fan who hates Clemson or not, you don't want it to be you one day. Right. And if you're a Georgia fan or a Bama fan or a Tennessee fan or a Florida fan, you don't want it to be you one day. This time it happened to be Clemson. Next time it could be you. Absolutely could be. And that's what everybody has to look at, because no one ever cares until they're the victim and it happens to them. Right. The thing that I've read also about this is the kid Forelli never got any of his NIL money, or he signed the, again, all this is just, this is all legal maneuvering. Well, he hadn't had time to yet. He hadn't done it. He hadn't been there long enough. And that's the point. I mean, the kid's in class. He's with the team. He hasn't. But the pushback from Ole Miss, or the pushback legally, will be he never signed the official NIL agreement, or the other one I'm hearing is he never got, these guys don't get money yet from the NIL agreement. So it's another way you can skate. And the other thing is, there's nothing in these agreements that say you can't go back into the portal before the portal window closes. That's something else the NCAA has to look at. Once you get out, once you commit and sign any kind of documentation, you can't jump back in. See, there are things here that can get fixed, and just thinking about it now makes my head hurt. All right, we'll come back, and we'll continue this conversation for Carolina men's basketball. Close to a W. Couldn't seal the deal. We'll hear from Lamont Paris and discuss what happened Saturday at CLA next on the Postgame Show.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for our good friends at Integrated Media. Listen, no matter what you need when it comes to home theater, the guys at Integrated have you covered. It really is that simple. 803-948-8327. You dream it. They come out to the house. They walk around with you. They design it. They install it. Next thing you know, you have years and years and years of fine family entertainment. Now you say, Jay, I don't really want to do it inside. I want to go outside. I love what I have inside, but now I want to enjoy South Carolina weather while I watch a ball game or my favorite movie. Ha! You can do that too. Amazing outdoor equipment built to be out there 24/7, 365, even in the South Carolina weather, no matter the time of year. They can get that done for you, too. Plus, they're taking care of you with golf simulation at Pro Swing, which is so much fun, both the Chapin and Forest Acres locations. They're ready to make everything you do a whole lot better. And they make house calls, 803-948-8327. Do what I've done. Live better with Integrated Media.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Get a free second pair of glasses with insurance at iMart Express. Now with an upgraded selection of over 150 frames to choose from. Pick one for when you're busy doing nothing, and one for when you're up for anything. Plus, with free same-day speed, go from booking an eye exam to walking out with new glasses in a blink. So you can take your vision benefits further, faster. iMart Express. Get glasses, go see.
Greetings, agent. The state of your home's air quality requires the expertise of ZeroRez Air Duct Cleaning. Your vents and systems are hiding so much unseen grime and dust, making ZeroRez's cleanup mission critical. Now, here's the deal. Mention our station, 107.5 The Game, and get $75 off your next air duct cleaning service. Keep your family healthy this year with ZeroRez. Easily schedule online at ZeroRezColumbia.com.
Honey, look, the hookers. They've moved off the highway and now they're all over the parking lot.
What are all those Schroeder's towing trucks doing in that parking lot, though?
Must be towing all those unauthorized cars parked in the lot. Good thing the business owner called Schroeder's Towing to keep their parking lot clear for just their customers. Didn't those cars see the free signage that Schroeder's provides to business owners to deter unauthorized parking?
I guess not.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, men's basketball over the weekend, a tough one. Losing in overtime to LSU at CLA. Lamont Paris, post-game, just said couldn't get it done.
Tough game. Felt bad for the guys, grueling. I mean, two teams fought really hard and, both really wanted and needed to win. And just weren't able to do it at the end. We made a move at the end of the first half that allowed us to close the gap and get it right back to where we wanted it to be. And then we had opportunities in the second half. We attacked the rim at times pretty strong and got to the free throw line, didn't make as many free throws as what we normally do. But just we didn't make some plays. If you look at the real waning moments of the game, we didn't make some plays, and combined with some free throw shooting, oftentimes that's the difference in these close games.
And there's Lamont saying just couldn't get over the hump, missed some free throws, couldn't make some plays late in overtime. And again, one of my things, Jay, in this game is, South Carolina's transition defense was just at times unacceptable. 19 fast break points, and there were times there was not even any defense to alter anything, or it was just LSU going to the rim on 3-on-1 breaks, 2-on-1 breaks, South Carolina not getting back, not rotating back. And in a game this close, you give up 19 points on fast breaks, plus LSU 8 dunks, 20 of 24 at the rim. Once again, interior defense is an issue. And I know if they make free throws, maybe we see a different game, whatever the case. But one more time, the interior defense of South Carolina and the defense in general let you down at some key times in the game.
Yeah, there were some late free throw misses, but Carolina wasn't terrible from the line. 22 of 31, 71%. That's not awful. You'd like a little more. LSU was better at 84%, just missed 4, 21 of 25. But hit me again with the basically the points at the rim, the baskets at the rim for LSU.
I'll give you both teams. LSU was 20 of 24 at the rim, 8 of 8 on dunks. South Carolina 10 of 23 at the rim. 3 of 4 on dunks. So South Carolina less than 50% at the rim. LSU way over 50% at the rim. They only missed 4 shots at the rim.
Look, that's it. That's it for this team. Almost every night, that's going to be a statistic that you look at and figure out your difference by and large. On 2-point shots, just to extrapolate a little bit farther out, LSU 60%, 22 of 38. Carolina was 19 of 45 on 2-point shots. Carolina shot 41% for the day, but just 42% from 2-point shots. LSU shot 52% for the day, 60% on 2-point shots. And Terry, you take it even more in depth in terms of what they did at the rim. That is the difference for South Carolina men's basketball in the 25-26 season. They don't have an interior presence on either side of the floor that can really lock down an opponent or even, by and large, go toe-to-toe with an opponent. And you almost have to think somewhat cynically that if they do on any given day or night, that it's because the other guy didn't have their best game, not so much that you were doing enough to alter what your opponent does. And I hate to sound that harsh, but those are the things that I have seen. But late, it was very obvious, and those of you, whether you watched, listened, or were in the building, and I know not a lot of people were in the building because of the weather, but LSU basically just kind of turned the tables and said, all right, look, let's just go inside. Let's do what we can do. And it worked. And it had already been working, but it really seemed to thwart Carolina at the end. And Lamont is saying those things there in postgame and lamenting what his team didn't do, but it doesn't really come as a surprise anymore.
No.
Again, like you and I have said, the facts are the facts. And there are enough statistical things to look at and enough results to look at to tell you that Carolina simply doesn't have the presence inside to really make a difference against teams that are either in the SEC or the other Power Fours that they played throughout the season. So I'd like to say, man, I'm surprised, or wow, what a great day LSU had. But the book is wide open on what to do to the Gamecocks. And, whether to stay with the analogy, whatever level of reader you may be, that's not a hard book for you to read and figure out what to do.
No, again, you're under 50% at the rim, and that's just, you got to be better. You just do. But right now, like you said, you have no interior presence that can score at the rim, and your perimeter guys are going to the rack, and they aren't consistent finishers. And so this is what you get. And if you can't, look, when you're 10 of 23 from going to the rim, Jay, this is at the rim, my friend.
Yeah.
And then the other team is 20 of 24. I mean, in a lot of ways, there's your basketball game.
That's it. That's it. I mean, we can look at all the other things, and we can try to break some of them down, and eventually they could be a difference maker. But look, Carolina had 9 steals to LSU's 4, but LSU had 4 blocks to Carolina's 1. Carolina was only out-rebounded by 1, 35 to 34, but LSU 23 assists on 31 made buckets. Carolina 13 assists on 28 made buckets. So. Little things that seem to flow towards LSU, but again, I'll come back to the inside presence or lack thereof. That's it. I don't need to hear anything else because that's the difference in the game, especially a game that goes to overtime in your own gym.
Yeah, and that's and LSU didn't have their point guard, so again, right. you're just it's just another one of those frustrating games. That's one. Look, you haven't had many of them that are gettable lately. This one was gettable. This is a team you beat on the road in Baton Rouge. Again, they didn't have their point guard then either. Now you got them in your house. You give you credit. You came back from a double-digit deficit early. You took the lead. You had an opportunity to win this game, and you lost it in OT. But again, your chance for winnable games are few and far between. That was one that when you walk off the court, you're just like, you know what? We should have bagged that one. And now, man, you got Texas in Austin. Missouri, I mean, they're better than you on paper, but, Missouri sometimes throws a clunker. You're going to go to Bama. You're going to go to Florida. Mississippi State here is a winnable game. Kentucky is better than you on paper. At Georgia doesn't look good. Tennessee here doesn't look good. At Ole Miss is kind of having a weird year too, but I feel like they're better on paper and they're at home. So one game here, Jay, you can go, you have a legit shot of winning is the Mississippi State game here, maybe Missouri. It doesn't look good, man. I'm just saying. It just doesn't look good.
It doesn't. And a lot of you may have heard Terry and me discussing this last week, and Jordan Kay was our guest one day last week talking about this. And I know we got to hit a break in a second so we can talk more big picture, because I think I hate to say it, but now as the calendar has turned, that game was technically on the last day of February. Now here we are, or excuse me, last day of January. Now we're here, days 1 and 2 of February. And big picture topics, future of the program topics will dominate discussion of Carolina men's basketball over the course of the next month or so. So, and we will be getting into some of those, but there's just things about this that, I think there are fixes, not so much this year, but what gets done about it. I think that was part of what we discussed last week, and you and I were getting into some of that this afternoon, or this morning rather, before we got on the air. So I imagine we'll do it again. We should have just recorded what we said this morning
and just replayed it. It was really good, man.
It was.
I'll say
we'll give you a slice of it.
One thing I think we didn't really investigate it, but I thought Shannon on Friday, one of our callers on the AAA Heating and Air phone line, made an interesting point about the assistant coaching staff.
Yep.
And I think that's something that we just don't look at in basketball like we do in football. Maybe that's something that we need to talk about coming back on the other side, and a couple other things, too, as well, regarding men's basketball in the big picture, looking forward. I will jump back in here on the postgame show and get into that next. Jay and Terry on the Game and the Game Network.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out this sweet deal. $50 to spend at Jay's Corner for only $12.50. Just click on Sweet Deals.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. As we get older, things slow down. Things aren't quite where we want them to be. Inside the brain, in the body, when you're just doing regular old stuff around the house, at work, in your personal life, right? There's a lot of things that just aren't like they used to be. And you may say, why is that? Well, it's time to go see the experts and figure it out. No magic pills, no one size fits all, just experts in healthcare for men for years. That's what Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic have been doing for folks all across the Midlands. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Set up that initial consultation. See what they can do for you. 803-875-MENS. Go online and learn more as well. TheMen'sClinicSC.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Mission New Year cleanup has begun with the agents of Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Here's the deal. Get 2 rooms cleaned for free with the purchase of 2 rooms. Just mention the station 1075 The Game when calling or easily schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Hey, I got you something. What's this? Just a little Galentine's gift from Jewelry Television.
JTV, I love their jewelry. I had my eye on this pearl bracelet on JTV.com. Plus, I love their colored gemstone jewelry. And oh, have you seen their gold?
Right now, take up to 70% off select jewelry and gifts at JTV.com.
You are not going to believe their gemstones and their artisan collections. Gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
It's the pearl bracelet.
Visit JTV.com.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
It's the biggest game on the planet, and nobody breaks it down like Jim Rome.
Who do you think will be the last one standing this year?
Fearless debate and the best callers in sports.
On any given week, you have lots to beef about. Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
Big games, big opinions, and zero mercy.
We'll get to all of that. You've been warned.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
A lot to get to, and I'm not sure you're going to like all of it. I don't even care if you like all of it or not. I have a job to do.
The Jim Rome Show.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Postgame Show. Terry Ford, Jay Phillips, talking some men's basketball. Not so much what happened over the weekend, that overtime loss to LSU, but the bigger picture of this whole thing, Jay, where it has to go after the season.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, and look, let's make this a little bit analogous to the football season. A lot of you began calling in, whether it was our show or others on the station. Probably by the end of September, 1st of October. And many of you specifically were saying we need Kendall Briles. Something's got to change with where this offense is. Mike Shula's not getting it done. And it's a lot more pronounced. And I think it's a lot more pronounced sometimes, and I won't be specific to Carolina here, but generally in football, coordinators got to go. This guy's not, and I understand that. I would say the sport where it is also more pronounced a lot of times is probably baseball. Hey, who's the pitching coach? Go get you a good pitching coach, and you see differences, or a great hitting coach. They're doing better to contact and things like that. And in basketball, it's a little more nebulous. It's like, what do assistants do in basketball? Are there direct equivalents to an offensive or defensive coordinator, to a pitching coach and a hitting coach? You know, does somebody work specifically with ball handlers or specifically, you know, I mean, you can have, you know, and yeah, the answer is yes, right? There are guys who are better suited to teaching big men or guards or, you know, nuances of defense and things like that. And I'm not here, look, I don't know enough, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that I have a grasp on the you know, how good or not Lamont's staff is relative to other schools. But, Terry, to the point we've been making and that a lot of fans were making with us last week, especially with such a horrible result against Florida, off the heels of a bad result against A&M and a bad result against Arkansas, you know, is the question, does a staff change look warranted here? And is it something that could benefit the program in the way that Shane had to part ways mid-season? And remember, not just he parted ways with two coaches mid-season. Lonnie Teasley first, then Mike Shula. And you've now replaced him, you know, with guys that can you know, come in here in terms of Coach Clem and obviously Kendall Briles and make a difference. And Coach Drayton's coming in to coach the running backs because Shane wasn't happy with the things that Coach Blackwell had done, not happy enough. And you don't want to make those changes, as Shane said. But does Lamont feel the same way, Terry? And I don't have an answer to that. You know, what do these guys specialize in? Does Lamont feel like he needs help? I remember I was telling you earlier, and those of you who've been around a while may remember, Coach Odom hired a guy in the last year of his tenure named Ken Potasnik. And Ken was a great recruiter. And Carolina went out and got some dudes. And then Coach got fired, and those guys left, one for Florida and one for Virginia. You know, do you need something as simple as that, Terry? Do you need a guy who's just better at building relationships and getting talent into Columbia? Because I think the number one thing we're looking at is a talent deficiency when it comes to this staff. I'm not at all concerned about how much basketball Lamont Paris does or does not know. I think he's, you know, he's an excellent basketball man. But you know, as I've joked with you, Terry, and my audience for many years, to make a football analogy again, Nick Saban's an awesome coach, but if Nick Saban's football teams were filled with dudes that looked like Jay Phillips, that were all 5'10" and 165, 170, Nick Saban ain't winning a lot of games, Terry Ford.
See, I think he could coach up. I think he could coach up Jay Phillips at 5'10", 160.
He can coach me up. Listen, he can coach me up, and I can execute my butt off. I'm going to get rocked when a 245-pound linebacker comes screaming through, right? So, anyway, it's a talent thing as much as anything else right now. But does the staff play a bigger role? We talked about it with Dawn Staley. She's had Lisa Boyer the whole time. Lisa is an amazing tactician. Coach Jolette Law has come in here and is such a great recruiter, but she is also such a great tactician and scout. You know, they matter. They matter to Dawn's staff. And we know what Kendall Briles can do. We saw when Steve Spurrier was at his best here in Columbia. I won't even go back to the UF days, but Ellis Johnson coordinating the defense, Sean Elliott and G.A. Mangus running that offense. Terry, they were lights out, man. Mm-hmm. It was working really, really well. Those guys matter, and I have to think that there's a lot of that can translate into basketball, even if, as I said, sometimes you can't quite put your finger on it the way you can in sports like football or baseball with the specifics of what assistants do.
I think it's an interesting conversation because we don't spotlight assistant coaches in basketball like we do in football or baseball. And look, with basketball, obviously, I'll go a little bit point further. I mean, you know, obviously recruiting is the lifeblood of everything, whether it's the portal, high school kids, JUCO, whatever. But also development. What are you teaching? I mean, you'll have an assistant coach who's teaching bigs, assistant coach who deals with perimeter players and guards. And what's being taught? What kind of development is happening? Well, like this year's team is a bunch of veteran guys, right, from all over the country. How is that incorporated in your coaching techniques and methods and in what you're trying to do to get these guys better or do the things you want them to do because here's what you believe in, right? I mean, every program has tenets of development and systems and type of play, and that stuff's all getting coached. So how much of this is getting coached successfully? And right now, I think everything needs to be looked at. And if you want to kind of look at, well, a lot of times when you have a guy like Lamont, sat next to Bo Ryan for years. Bo Ryan was one of the best basketball coaches in America for 15 years. Then Lamont eventually moved on, and he got Tennessee Chattanooga into the NCAA tournament, and then he ended up at South Carolina. Now Lamont has sat next to a head coach on a Power 4 conference, right? He's been there at the seat next to the guy, but obviously he'd never been a head coach in the Power 4. He had a guy, Tim Buckley, his first couple years. Buckley, grizzled veteran, a lot of experience, had been in Power 4 leagues, had been a head coach. He was like, he's your Mr. Miyagi there, right, in some ways. He's got the wisdom. He probably looked at Lamont and said, wax on, wax off. And then he left after the NCAA tournament season, and he went to Cincinnati, if my memory serves me, which is an interesting move from South Carolina to Cincinnati. We'll talk about that later. But you don't have that grizzled veteran on the staff. Look, Tanner Bronson, Will Bailey, Eddie Shannon, David McKinley, no one's going to sit here and question how much they know basketball, if they're good basketball dudes or whatever the case. But you don't have that grizzled dude who has been around, right? Like a Tim Buckley on the staff. Eddie Shannon, I believe, has been with Lamont since Tennessee Chattanooga. I think Tanner Bronson as well has been with Lamont. But you don't have that guy that's been through it, right? That guy that can sit there and, remember Dodgeball? Remember the grizzled veteran coach?
Right.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. You don't seem to have that guy on this staff. And, again, when you're struggling the way this program has been struggling the last couple of years, I just think whether or not it is a reason, I think you need to look at everything in a program that's struggling like this. Because it could be a multitude of things, Jay. It might just be one thing's missing. We don't know. We're not there every day. All we know is it ain't working.
Right. And to your point, again, I'm not, and you're not either. I'm not saying this staff must go and be replaced because again, if this staff had some dudes, maybe it's different. Because again, I'm going to say, Terry, right here, live on the radio, I think the vast majority of what is plaguing this team, and for the most, the biggest portion of Lamont's tenure, is a lack of talent to compete in this conference day in, day out, night in, night out, week in, week out. That, to me, that's what I'm seeing on the floor. These guys probably can teach. So, again, is it somebody that can go recruit, somebody that can develop even better? We saw the need for change amongst the staff in football. We've seen it before in baseball, and I'm sure we've seen it in basketball, but, again, it's not as pronounced. Is that part of what there is going on? Is it as simple a fix as going out and getting more talent for the same guys to coach and teach? I'm not so sure, and that'll be Jeremiah Donati's job as much as anyone else's here in the coming weeks. But, again, the results of the last couple of seasons speak for themselves in terms of this team's inability to compete on a regular basis. And that has to change no matter what that change looks like. Something has to be different if you're moving forward with this head coach.
Hold that thought. We are going to do a quick vault because it's a huge day in sports history that Jay Phillips will never forget. And then I want to pick back up on what you're saying because I think there's two roads when it comes to success with a college basketball program. We'll get into that next as well here on the Postgame Show. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford here on the game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Robinhood. Your money, your move. The NBA has announced the reserves for the All-Star game. LeBron James is named a reserve. LeBron is an All-Star in his 22nd straight season. You gotta give him credit, and especially for the fact that he's playing at a high level at age 41 in his 23rd season. It's really a career unlike any we've seen before. I'm Chris Black.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Injured in a car wreck? Need your check? It's easy. Dial 1-800-ALL-7s now.
The Anastapula Law Firm has been recovering millions for their clients for over 30 years. Whether it's a slip and fall, car accident, or any other issues that have resulted from an accident, Anastapula Law Firm can help. Their South Carolina personal injury attorneys have experience fighting for the rights of their clients. Remember, don't scream. Call Akeem. Dial 800-ALL-7s now.
Herb Glass is responsible for this ad, and cases are handled at 32 Ann Street, Charleston, South Carolina 29403. Paid endorsement, not actually client. Results may vary.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Unsure where to start? Sounds like you may be suffering from FOMO, the fear of messing up. The cure? Filing your federal and state taxes for free using TurboTax on Credit Karma. All you have to do is start and finish filing on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Just keep in mind, this offer is available only if you didn't file with TurboTax last year. It's time to break free from your fear of messing up. Start filing for free today in the Credit Karma app.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistent scent, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. Time to open the vaults, sponsored by Purple Wave Auction. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
Oh, time to crack the vault open. Jay Phillips will never forget this one. We'll do this one real quick and get back to our men's basketball discussion. On this day, in 2014, we're talking Super Bowl 48.
It's snapped over the head of Peyton Manning. A flag is down, and the ball's out of the back of the end zone. It's a safety to start this game as Manning wasn't ready.
Illegal motion.
Oh, yeah. That didn't go well from the jump for you, Jay. Seattle Seahawks were up 36-0 at one point, won 43-8 over your Denver Broncos on this day in 2014.
Enjoy the rest of the show by yourself. That was the day. Speaking of which, I can kill two birds, one stone. Thank you for doing this without even meaning to. We went to a Super Bowl party at our good friend Ben and Ashley Brantley's house. It was Ben's birthday as well. Ben is a Groundhog Day birthday, so happy birthday, Ben. He's had 6 more weeks of alcohol sales going up, is what happens when he sees his shadow, so that's good news for local Red Dots. I decided I went against my typical. I wear, as you know, Terry. I wear soccer jerseys around a lot because soccer jerseys are basically like glorified T-shirts, right? Like there's, but I don't wear baseball jerseys, basketball jerseys, and football jerseys on guys with that are real jerseys just look silly because you're not wearing shoulder pads. But my wife years earlier had gotten me a wonderful Mitchell and Ness. Very authentic John Elway Super Bowl jersey from the year they beat the Falcons, and I decided to wear that to the party because the Broncos were playing. And again, that happened. That play happened. The game was terrible. It's a white jersey, and I got salsa on it.
Oh.
And it was just that was terrible. I mean, the game was terrible. I got salsa on the jersey. I shouldn't have worn the jersey anyway, but I was like feeling good about because it had been like 15 years since the Broncos had been to the Super Bowl at that point. So anyway,
so you telling me
2 years later
fault?
they won the Super Bowl.
You telling me it was your fault that they lost that game because you wore that jersey and got salsa on it? So it was on you. It was your fault.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. They shouldn't have had a Super Bowl in New York. That was the problem.
I'll tell you this story really quick. So my kid's uncle is a huge Peyton Manning fan. Loves Peyton Manning. Loved him in Indy. When Peyton went to Denver, he became a Broncos fan because he loved Peyton Manning. So we made the mistake of going to his house to watch that game. He spent the entire game screaming at the TV like he was 12. And then this started. Well, the NFL doesn't want Peyton Manning and the Broncos to win the Super Bowl. This thing is so fixed. I can't believe it. So it was a fun 3 hours.
Yeah.
That was fun. Let me tell you.
Yeah, sure. I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Until my girlfriend accidentally swung and hit him in the head with the coffee table, which knocked him unconscious. Then we could enjoy the game. He was. It was insane. My youngest at that point was maybe, 14, 12 years ago. So he's like 7. And he even was like, look at Uncle Michael, you're acting like a baby. He was 7. So it was, that was one. That was one. That was misery. That was
not
misery.
fun.
Yeah,
it was not fun.
So
but it was nice to hang out with people. And my buddy Edward Clark was at the party, and Edward did a really nice job of playing like in-game therapist for me that night. And I think my wife and I ended up leaving maybe at the end of the third quarter, and we're just like, see y'all. And most people that were there didn't care, but here's a guy wearing a John Elway jersey as the Broncos are getting their butt kicked. But like I said, 2 years later, it was all good.
Yep.
It's all good.
I want to get to this thing real quick about this discussion about men's basketball. Look, typically, if you look at history, programs that are good, consistently good, they're either two things. A, they just have more talent than you, right? They just got better dudes. You go recruit, you have better players, and you win. Others, they have a system. They play on both ends of the court, or at least one end of the court, and they go find players to fit their system, and they develop those players, right? It's one of those two.
Yep.
And look, Lamont was with Bo Ryan. They played a certain system of offense. Look, Bo Ryan, the highest rated recruit Bo Ryan ever had, my memory serves me, is Sam Decker on that Final Four team. He was a top 50 kid. He was a first-round pick in the NBA draft. Didn't work out. Frank Kaminsky was the other guy. He was there like 20 years. Guy's medical degree, his law degree. Ended up being a first-round pick in the NBA draft, but he was the developed guy. So Lamont watched a guy who developed players and also played a certain system where players fit into that system, and they developed them into that system. But right now at South Carolina, I don't think we have either right now. And you don't have just dudes better than other dudes like you're talking about. And if they are trying to play a certain system, and maybe because of the transfer portal era we're looking at, and this year especially, guys are coming from everywhere, this just hasn't worked. If it's a system thing, they haven't plugged in, and we know it's a talent thing, so maybe it's a two thing. I don't know, Jay, but it's one of those two buckets when you're really successful, and I don't see either one this year.
Yeah, we'll stay with this for a second because we just got a hit on Twitter from a very prominent Gamecock basketball voice, and I want to share it with all of you and see if you agree with what he says. So we'll do that top of the hour. Brad Muller coming up as well.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
CHW Cabinetry. We always talk about the good folks at CHW. Right there on 2 Notch in Lexington. Star, her staff. The work, it speaks for itself. You go to chwcabinetry.com, you can take a look at their work, what they do, and they'll put cabinets anywhere for you. Inside, outside, upside down, right side up, sideways, whatever you want. They can do it at CHW Cabinetry. And the quality of work is just second to none in the Midlands. Also, the customer service is second to none. They're very transparent, photorealistic renderings. Basically, you will get to see right in front of you, step by step, the work that's being done for you. Again, call them, 803-520-6837. Again, 803-520-6837. From beginning to end, the best craftsmanship, customer service, transparency, all to fit your budget at CHW Cabinetry in Lexington.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
What's up, Gamecocks? This is Ben Cato, third-generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Cold weather's finally here, which means it's the perfect time to give your lawnmower some love and attention. Right now at Cato's, we're offering a complete mower tune-up, including engine service, new blades, and a front-to-back inspection. We'll also give you 25% off any additional repairs you need. Just $175 for your residential mower, $225 for a commercial mower. Don't get stuck with a mower that won't mow. Come see us today at Cato's Power Equipment.
Massive insurance companies may want to keep you from getting what you deserve after a car wreck. Don't let them. I'm Michael Jeffcoat, and my team is right here in South Carolina to fight for you. For over 26 years, we've helped your neighbors recover millions. We know the law, the system, and what it takes to win around here. And remember, no recovery, no fee. That's my promise to you. Call 803-200-2000 for a free consultation. The Jeffcoat Firm. You deserve better, so call us.
Responsible attorney Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
It's the biggest game on the planet, and nobody breaks it down like Jim Rome.
Who do you think will be the last one standing this year?
Fearless debate and the best callers in sports.
On any given week, you have lots to beef about. Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
Big games, big opinions, and zero mercy.
We'll get to all of that. You've been warned.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
A lot to get to, and I'm not sure you're going to like all of it. I don't even care if you like all of it or not. I have a job to do.
The Jim Rome Show.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Powered by Integrated Media, the Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia, the Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, post-game show, hour 2, Jay Phillips, Terry Ford. Do not forget tonight's special Monday night version of women's basketball. Gamecocks in College Station taking on Texas A&M. And you can hear all that right here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. Real quick, Jay, before we jump in to get that post from Twitter, one thing that we talked about Friday, I want to circle back to, that we said also could be a gigantic factor here, is the fact that South Carolina, despite that they doubled their NIL commitment to men's basketball from a little bit under $2 million to almost $4 million. It's still, or 4.5 roughly, maybe 4.5, 5, almost maybe tripled it. It's still near the bottom of the SEC. The SEC averages around 10 million a team. And so you're still roughly only about half of what the average is in the conference. So to be fair, all these things we're talking about, also the financial support or the financial backing could also be a big problem here for the talent we're talking about, this, that, or the other. A lot of it might just come back to money, just to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's always going to be a factor to some degree these days. I certainly get that. How much? Again, that's why I would say I don't like, just like fans that are calling in and whether they're texting, tweeting, whatever, calling. There's a lot of questions around this club, but the results tell you all you need to know in terms of what isn't happening.
Right.
And so. Let me get to this. I appreciate it. Aaron Lucas just hit me. Many of you remember Aaron as a terrific point guard at Richland Northeast and for Eddie Fogler. He's still very connected to the sport here in Columbia. And he hit me and said, in terms of some of the things we're discussing, he says, a lot of great questions. Assistants need a voice, but it doesn't seem to be that way. We want everyone to have success. I'm rooting for this program, but there's questions everyone is curious about. And, I think that's something to think about here, Terry, in terms of where former players and guys that coach and, feel the program is. He followed it up, said he had an interesting conversation with some folks for Gamecock Hoops, naming the best player to wear numbers, and he went over a few other things about just kind of keeping the history alive and things like that too. But look, Aaron, I mean, questions everyone is curious about. Like I say, I think the person that has to ask a lot of those questions, and they'll probably stay private, is Jeremiah Donati, and Jeremiah is going to. I think we saw enough for those who are like, what's the new guy going to do? Or he's not new anymore, right?
And over a year,
we saw Jeremiah give a big assist and then some to Shane Beamer in the offseason to make sure you got the assistance you needed to fill out the staff and make the staff better, to make sure that you retained the biggest stars on your roster, and to be able to go into the portal and grab some guys that are going to make your football team better, or so you hope. In addition, Terry, to the things that Jeremiah is doing to lead the renovations at Williams-Brice. But as a point that you've made, I think needs to continue to be made, at most schools, and South Carolina is no exception, men's basketball should be the number 2 revenue generator. Look, women's basketball does well here. Baseball, at least at times, has done well. And that's great, but you need men's basketball to do its part, and right now, on a routine basis, it doesn't. Now, the school will tell you, Terry, well, hey, we still sell a pretty good amount of season tickets, and that's money in the bank before the season ever tips. I get it. But I've been to enough games to know that you're not coming close to maximizing that building. And I don't mean to sound harsh here. I don't like it when people say the building's too big. The building's 23, 24 years old. It's not too big when you're good, and I've seen it sold out more than a few times. Only once with Kentucky fans filling it up. So yeah, Aaron, there are a lot of questions that people are curious about, and again, we've asked a lot of questions that are more rhetorical right now, Terry. We don't have the answers. Again, that's going to be the athletics director's job to get in there and sit down with Lamont and figure these things out. And, we were talking with people last week. A $12 million buyout is a big buyout. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means Lamont is in a situation where he has to remain. Maybe Lamont should remain. Again, we had a couple people hit us last week and say, if you're going to really up the NIL budget next season, then does Lamont deserve the opportunity to use that NIL budget to go get guys that he thinks will fit what he wants to do? Perhaps. And I don't know if that's really something that's problematic. Again, I think Lamont can coach, and we saw Lamont get this program into an NCAA tournament in his second season. So, again, Terry, that's a thing. How much of a thing? And it is still maybe more subjective, but it is a thing, So I don't know what those answers look like at the end of the season. But there are a lot of difficult questions to ask because you have to get this thing better pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you got into last week. I thought that was interesting. A couple of the people on social media hit us up with that response, saying, well, if you're going to up the NIL, then give Lamont the opportunity to spend that money to see how he can build a team. Here's the thing, when you take a step back on that, is, at Wisconsin in football and at Maryland in football, that's what they're doing. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, we thought Luke Fickell was going to be done, right? Wisconsin hasn't been as good under Luke Fickell as we all thought it was going to be. He did a hell of a job at Cincinnati. But what Wisconsin did is they basically said this without saying it. Okay, so we're not investing enough in football to bring better players, and we're losing players because we're not spending enough dough on football. All right, we're going to up it. Luke, now you're really on the hot seat. We're going to give you a lot more money. You better go win, or you can pack your gear. And they're doing that at Maryland with Mike Locksley. They're saying, okay, man, we're going to give you more money. You say money's the problem. Okay, we're going to give you more money. Well, you better go win, or you can kick rocks too. Now, again, that might be what happens here. $12 million is a big buyout. And maybe, just maybe, if you do up the NIL to near SEC averages, then you say to Lamont, all right, man, we're going to put you right up there with everybody else or a lot of the average to go build a roster and go win and make the NCAA tournament. Go do it. Here you go. Now you're on the clock. That could happen. Now, what is a fan base going to think of that? We'll see. But that's a scenario that's very real, Jay, because, again, $12 million, I don't think Jeremiah Donati's got that sitting in his glove box in his car. And if he does, I want to hang out with him. But, so we've got to look at that in the big picture of this. Where does that go with, again, that, remember, Lamont Paris in year 2, they shocked the SEC. Had a hell of a year, made the dance. Then he got a contract extension because Ohio State was sniffing around him, allegedly, remember?
Yep.
So that's part of why the buyout sits where it sits today. But that is a real part of this conversation. And, that's the way this could go. Another way is they could go on a run and change our entire conversation. Doesn't feel like that's going to happen watching this team. But, I don't know, maybe it becomes a Disney movie. Who knows? Or 3, it continues to go the way it is, and Jeremiah Donati does decide to make a change. But we can't forget that buyout, man. Especially in a rev share world. That's a lot of dough for a basketball coach, man. It just is. So we'll see.
It is. And again, I think we had a lot of varying opinions last week. And I really, the one thing that I think was good, that's my words, I don't know that last week there were a lot of folks that were saying, wholesale change now. Fire him, do it. Get rid of it. There was more. Let's see what's up. And I think there was a lot of agreement, Terry, that talent is maybe the most pressing issue. And like I said, some hit us and said, well, hey, if you're gonna make some of these monetary changes, and then let the current guy do it. And I said to you, I think maybe it was off air, not on, but I'll say it on air too. If you were going to spend $12 million to buy him out, even if you could negotiate terms to have that stretched out over, and maybe, I don't know if you can or can't, I don't know what it looks like. Sometimes, Terry, a buyout is like half due in 90 days and the other half due within a year. And sometimes you can stretch it out over 5 or 6 or 10 years or whatever, and if you can stretch it out, then maybe it's a lot more affordable to do it. If you can't, maybe it's not. If it's all due at once, it seems almost ill-advised to try and make that kind of change. Instead, take a portion of that, up the NIL budget. Again, if you need to dip into that pool to help with assistance and maybe, get some even more experienced guys in here, should that be something, then you can do that too without having to spend all that money. Because if you're starting over, I mean, that's a whole – starting over, Terry, right now is a whole different ballgame. And maybe that is, as you said, maybe that is the thing that happens. I don't know. And another question to bring up, because we've had varying opinions on this, how much does the new relationship with Nike matter? How much can it help? That's another question that I really don't have an answer for, Terry. I don't know if it's as simple as, hey, Nike opens you up to a broader talent pool for kids coming out of high school and AAU programs. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. This isn't the first time Carolina basketball has worn Nike. I'll say that much. I don't know how much it helped back then relative to what Under Armour does or doesn't do. So I'd like to think it can make some kind of difference, Terry, but I don't know how much. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, you sit here and look at – I'm just kind of looking at the breakdown of the deal they have with Nike. 10 years, $75 million, starts July 1st of this year. Let's see, $70 million in merchandise, $2.5 million in supplemental products, cash compensation, $500,000 annually. So you look at the cash part, because I was looking for the cash part. The cash part is $500,000 annually to the school. I mean, some schools, and I don't know if South Carolina talked about this with Nike and they were like, maybe we weren't interested, or maybe South Carolina doesn't want to go down this road, but some of these schools are setting up NIL-type partnerships with some of these shoe companies that, your player can do an NIL deal with the shoe company because, again, that's not a collective, right? So there are things going on around the country with that. I think did Tennessee do? Someone did that. That's why it's sticking in my head, and a few others have followed suit. But again, is that a possibility? Do you go to Nike and say, look, we'd like to figure out maybe an NIL partnership with you, and could that help when you're talking about, building your NIL kind of war chest? I don't know. But I know that's been done by a couple of other schools. But to your Nike point, is that a road you could go or a door you could open to help you out?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. One other thing that I just got here says a lot of disappointment that former players could see coming, along with the toughness of this conference. Now you have to shift the dynamics with NIL. People won't commit more money if they do not have confidence in what's being built. And there again, I think, is an issue for the athletics director, Terry, and how much of that he can gauge in his own conversations with his own eyes when he's inside Colonial Life Arena, what kind of surveys they may do for season ticket holders and Gamecock Club members, what he gets from student athletes when Jeremiah talks with them, in terms of, guys that may or may not want to come back, what the recruiting is looking like, trying to, now that uniform patches are going to be allowed, what kind of people want to sponsor Carolina basketball. You'll get something, but how much can you get? Again, a lot of questions. A lot of questions without a lot of answers right now. But for a program that does matter and people do care, and they want to see it get better, especially when the Southeastern Conference has become one of the premier conferences in the country, and it looks like Carolina's being left behind.
All right, real quick before we get to break, Tennessee's deals with Adidas and has an NIL focus, a groundbreaking NIL program with unprecedented opportunities for athletes across all 20 varsity sports. That's what I saw. It's Adidas that has the NIL deal with Tennessee. Just saying, I don't know, is there anything there?
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
I don't know. That sounds like a Tennessee PR release.
Let's see. No, it's AI's press release. But anyway, that's the deal that they did with Adidas to form an NIL kind of piece. So I'm just saying, some people are trying to work that kind of stuff to kind of help their NIL situation. I will come back in here. We got some college football to get to, some college college athletics news. Talk about the SEC. Where's the big kahuna with all this SEC controversy going along? That's next here on the Postgame Show.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialist of the Midlands. Request your consultation today at qckinetics.com.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell's new Luxe Value menu has 10 indulgencies for $3 or less. From the opulent new mini taco salad to the decadent beefy potato loaded griller. That much luxe could have you expecting a maitre d' at the drive-thru. At participating Taco Bells, while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Tax extra.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
If you have IRS tax problems, it can seem like a vicious cycle that never ends, year after year. Just getting the mail can be stressful and overwhelming. Don't let it ruin your life. There is a solution. Since 2008, the attorneys at Ecton Law Firm have devoted their practice to the resolution of tax problems for individuals and businesses across the Carolinas. We have the knowledge and experience and are dedicated to the success of each client. We are local attorneys with local solutions. At the free initial consultation, we'll listen to your concerns, your goals, and explain the systematic process we use in solving your tax problem. From that initial meeting, you'll see there is a solution. We're dedicated to improving your life by solving your tax problems. If we sound like someone you want to work with, take that first step. Give us a call at 803-771-9800 or go to ectonlawfirm.com. You'll be glad you did.
Hey everyone, it's Nikki, manager of Kreger Showrooms Columbia, formerly The Nest. That's right, we have rebranded our name, but we still offer a wide variety of affordable products in plumbing, lighting, and appliances. Graham, Mandy, Rachel, and Brian will be happy to help you find exactly what you are looking for to make you love your home. We look forward to giving you the attention you deserve and provide you with exceptional customer service. Kreger Showrooms Columbia, located at 1331 Gadsden Street in the Vista. Come see us today.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Talking some college athletics here on the Postgame Show. Jay, Terry. Hope you're enjoying your Monday. Hope you're falling out. Women's basketball tonight, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip. Right here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. Brad Muller on the call.
I want it to snow again.
Hey, you know what? Enough of you in the snow.
No, man,
I know you grew up here and you don't see much snow, and when you see it, it's all cool and fun. I went through a winter with 2 20-plus inch blizzards, man. I'm snowed out, man. Well, it's not my fault you grew up where it doesn't snow. I can't help you with that. Tell you what, here's how things fair. Why don't we ship you up to the Northeast for a week, and you can do the show from the Northeast, and you can freeze your bleep off, and you can go out there and knock all the ice and snow you want with a shovel and have fun. And maybe we'll get this out of your system.
One of my daughters almost she got accepted to a good school up in the Northeast, and I'm really glad that she decided not to go there because I think she is too, even though it's a really good school, because she realized that it's incredibly cold from like Thanksgiving to March, and you don't get any days off for it.
No, I'll tell you one real quick. I'll tell you one. I think I might have told you the story. I can't remember. Well, my son got accepted to the University of Vermont. We went to visit before, we went to do the visit, and we went it's like summer. And, dude, Vermont in the summer is beautiful. Sure. Right? They got that lake. You got the skyline, the lake right there in Burlington, Vermont, and it's all blue and pretty, and it's warm, and everybody's in their shorts, and they're walking around. And, we looked at him. I go, yeah, you're enjoying this in July. You know what this is like in January? And he's kind of laughed it off. Then we're doing the tour. And the girl that's giving us the tour says, oh, by the way, the average temperature in Burlington, Vermont in January, I don't know, it was like 9 degrees. And she goes, and by the way, there are no snow days. You put your boots on and you go to class. There are no snow days in Burlington, Vermont. Guess where my kid didn't go to school?
Yeah, Vermont.
Although,
that's where fish formed. So there is that he missed out on. But
so again, that's a him thing.
Anyway. So our buddy Seth Emerson has a piece in The Athletic. He spoke recently with Jerry Moorhead, the longtime president of the University of Georgia. And Dr. Moorhead said the following when it comes to some of the troubles plaguing college sports. Quote, have we seen the CSC, that's the College Sports Commission, have we seen the CSC move against any institution yet? I don't think so. Have we seen the NCAA take any action on tampering? I don't think so. So I think we're getting to the point that the Southeastern Conference is going to have to create its own set of rules, enforce them against our members, and hope that we can set an example that the other Power Four conferences would then follow. But we desperately need rules, and rules that are going to be enforced. We have rules, but they're not being enforced. End quote from Dr. Jerry Moorhead, president of the University of Georgia.
So wait a minute. He's not the president of Ole Miss, right? Or the president of Alabama, right?
He's not.
No, I'm just checking.
Seth also says that Dr. Moorhead says he has support of at least several other presidents for the SEC creating its own enforcement division.
Do you think he's getting support from the presidents of Alabama and Ole Miss?
No.
Probably not.
I mean, here's the thing. To be serious, he could, and they're just going to do what everybody else is doing. Well, it's like who's our boy out at Texas Tech that has the gajillionaire running all the commercials, And he's like, we need rules, and we need everybody to fall in line, But until they do, I'm going to keep giving as much of my money as I can.
Right. Cody, whatever the hell his name is,
I don't know what his name is, but whatever. It's like, oh, okay. So until they make me play by the rules, I'm not going to play by any rules.
But we need
and that's,
rules.
Whatever.
But we need rules. Exactly.
So.
And look, that's the thing.
So maybe the president of Alabama wants rules, but right now he's looking the other way as his athletics director and basketball coach. Go judge shopping in Tuscaloosa.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like I said to you in the 3 o'clock hour, everybody wants rules until the rules negatively affect them, right? Then that's a different ball game. Everybody likes rules until rules can stop them from being successful or block them in some way, shape, or form from what they want. That's the problem here. Everybody's good until it affects them. And, we've talked about this multiple times, and you brought it up again today. This Clemson thing isn't about Clemson. This tampering thing with the Clemson player is about it could happen to you next. And that's human nature in life. We don't pay attention to anything until it happens to us, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to say. Look, forget Clemson. We get it. No one here boo-hoos about Clemson. This isn't about Clemson losing a player. This is about that Ole Miss can do this to you tomorrow and get away with it. That's the problem here. And the CSC, well, the CSC is built, and schools are using it when they can, benefit themselves in not spending money, but to a certain cap, right?
Right.
But they're not using it when it comes to things like what's going on at Alabama and Ole Miss. Now we're flipping back to, hey, there's nothing in the rules that says you can't jump back in the portal 16 times before the window closes. Hey, the kid he signed his, financial aid agreement. He didn't sign that NIL thing yet, or he didn't get any money yet, or we can loophole the hell out of everything, right? Because that's what people are doing to push their agenda and get away with everything. And then, like you said, my favorite one is let's go to the local court right by the university and see if we can get a favorable verdict, because you are.
Yeah, from a judge who's donated like $200,000 to Alabama athletics.
Ready? Judge Nate Oates Sr. today.
I mean,
seriously,
come on, man.
Guys, please. But that's the thing.
And by the way, I'm not making that up. For those of you who haven't been following that closely, the judge recused himself after giving the temporary injunction, then recused himself. And it's easily found out that he and his wife have given, well, it said between $100,000 and $249,000. So whatever category they fall into with Bama donors, he's a six-figure donor to Alabama Athletic. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Except when you're making a ruling that is clearly favorable to Alabama athletics, despite the kid going into the draft and knowing that the rules of the NCAA, which the SEC, by the way, in like the first paragraph of the SEC rules, the SEC says we follow the rules of the NCAA. You knew when you entered the draft that you can't go back to. Doesn't mean if you get drafted. It means if you enter the draft, you give up your eligibility, and yet he's playing in college basketball again because a judge in Alabama said, sure, why not?
Yeah, and again, look, everybody's looking for these precedents and these things to get away with it, and, well, look at these European players, and the European players have a set of rules, and the American players have a set of rules, and we went over this. That if you dig deeper, it's not as simple as that, but I get what they're trying to do legally to get away with it, and plus they're doing it at the courthouse 3 miles from the campus.
Yeah.
It's just, look, you and I have said this in the 30 years we've done shows together. If you don't like the rules, change the rules.
Yeah.
If you want to fix these rules to where, American college players and European players have the same set of rules, whether there is a age limitation where you can come back to college or whatever you want to do, then go ahead and do it. Fix the rules. Change the rules. I mean, the way it's going to lose in court. But anyway, change the rules to where it's more uniformed and make it fairer for American and European players to have the same set of rules where it comes to eligibility to play in college. This is not tough, Jay. It really isn't.
No, but I do like you. I get tired of hearing it, whether it's coaches, players, fans, media, whomever. Well, it's a dumb rule. Oh, okay.
Then change it.
There's a lot of dumb rules. Change it. But until it's changed, you got to follow it.
Right.
Otherwise, what are we doing? What are we doing? And in the case of Alabama, they're like, screw it.
Yeah.
In the case of Mississippi football with Chambliss, screw it.
Well, it's
and
like
now,
anything.
Again, Mississippi's done it. They're doing this with Chambliss. They're doing this thing with Golding. What the hell else are they doing at Ole Miss?
Right. Well,
those are the only two we know about.
Right. And look, this has become the college athletics version of that movie, The Purge.
Yeah.
It just is. It's anarchy.
Yeah.
It's just go break the rules. Who cares? There's going to be no enforcement of anything. You can get away with anything you want. Nobody's in trouble. Just go for it. Go for it.
Well, you know who's not an anarchist?
Who?
Brad Muller.
Well, let's talk to Brad Muller next, the anti-anarchist. Talks women's basketball tonight, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip. The women play here against A&M. We'll talk to the voice of the Gamecocks, Brad Muller, next on the postgame show.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215215. That's HIM to 215215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Good news, we've opened a new location at 1612 North Lake Drive, right by the Lake Murray Dam. Come see us for decorative stone, gravel, mulch, pine straw, topsoil, you name it. Whether you're sprucing up the backyard or tackling a big project like a patio, a deck, or a retaining wall, we've got the materials and the know-how to help you. Stop by Monday through Saturday and let's make your yard the best on the block. MidlandsLandscapeandLawns.com.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Even the best players need a strong team behind them. Atkins Law is always there for you, whether you're hurt on the job or in a motor vehicle accident. Who you hire matters.
You focus on recovery, and we'll handle the rest. As proud Gamecock alumni, we understand what it means to have a good support system on and off the court.
So when life takes an unexpected turn, trust the team that fights for you.
Call us at 803-251-6406 or visit hollyatkinslaw.com.
Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app. It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
Our first check on the traffic, a couple accidents so far. Highway 321 at Wood Trail Drive and also I-77 northbound at Forest Drive. That would be exit 12. And a disabled vehicle. Be on the lookout for that as well on I-77 southbound. And all our road construction we typically have. And it's warmed up, so hopefully everything is de-iced and de-slushed. And it's a lot easier to drive on the roadways. Brad Muller, the voice of the women's Gamecocks, coming up next. They play tonight, 7:30 pregame right here on 107.5 The Game. We'll talk to him next.
Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, so Jay.
Yes, sir.
You had lunch, right, today?
I did. I had a roast beef and turkey sandwich. It was delicious. Thank you for asking.
That's not bad. I did peanut butter and jelly in my office. You know what Brad Muller had?
Tell me.
Nice big juicy steak.
He's in Texas.
Yeah, you know what? He couldn't wait to mock me. Could not wait to mock me about the big, fat, juicy steak he had. So, yeah, Brad Muller kicking steak. And Beth, you know how much Brad Muller paid for that steak, Jay?
Well, I guess it was part of team meals, so I'm going to guess it just comes with the territory.
Exactly.
The thing is, did he go over to the baseball stadium and get some Bluebell ice cream while he was there?
Oh, that's true. A favorite of our buddy Tommy Moody's. He loved the Bluebell.
Oh yeah,
ice cream.
Tommy used to talk about that. Derek still does. Yeah, and Coach Stu. So yeah, always great to have Brad Muller on the call. Gamecocks feeling better after a little hiccup there, Brad, with a nice win over Texas, but didn't play great, and then the loss to Oklahoma. Now the big wins over Vandy and Auburn, and this A&M program has kind of fallen on hard times of late. So you feel like this is a good one, but another one on the road in conference play. But it feels like this team is starting to find itself maybe between the ears as much as on the floor after what happened in Norman.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of found their footing again and played some really good basketball. Obviously, in the win against Vanderbilt, and then on the road at Auburn, did a lot of the basic things well. You know, the chemistry seemed to be there, and just a lot of the little things. The defense was good. They were hitting free throws. You know, knock wood. The last 2 games, they've shot about like 98% from the free throw line in the last 2 games. That's what you love to see. But now you've got a little bit of a hiccup, though. You've got 2 players out tonight. You know, 2. They've been starting. Well, tonight Latson's been the starter, all year, and then Agat McKeer's been the freshman's been the starter the last couple of games, and both of them are out tonight. So you go back to what we were going through for much of the season. Okay, we got to shuffle the lineup again a little bit, and that's just something we'll see if that upsets the rhythm at all. Hopefully, it will not, but you certainly feel like it's going to change things when you lose 2 starters.
You know, Brad, the last 2 wins, 41 of 58 at the rim, a lot more assists. Seems like the offense, players are moving without the ball. The ball's moving. I know there's 2 injured starters or key contributors tonight. But what has changed with the better flow on offense, which has led to better shots, which has led to more shot making?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. I think, you don't like to admit it at the time, but sometimes a loss can do you good. And I think when at Oklahoma, they did not play well in a lot of phases. Obviously, Oklahoma did. Don't want to take any credit away from them, but they didn't play well. And sometimes it makes what coaches are preaching in practice a little bit more real when you come off a loss as opposed to coming off a win, the same old. So, I think that was part of it. Sometimes a loss can help right the ship. And then, I think as well, we had a nice stretch there before, unfortunately, before the Auburn game where we finally had several games in a row where we had our full roster. And that's been a rarity this year. Up until this recent stretch of the last 3 or 4 games, we'd only had 3 games all year where we started and finished with a full roster. So I think just having that little bit of extra depth that you needed certainly helped. And you're getting more contributions from the bench as well, which was huge. People like Matty McDaniel and some of the others as well have played really well, so that the starters didn't have to play as many minutes as they were maybe the first half of the season.
Brad, in the last, I think, 8 or 10 ball games, Tessa Johnson has really started to round into her scoring form. We know it's there, and it feels weird. And I even heard this on the broadcast the other day that, she's a starter now. But the first year, returning starters, and you're like, well, wait, Tessa's a returning starter. Technically, no, she's not. But she's been averaging about 15 points a game of late. What do you feel like is different with her right now in terms of her role and what she can provide?
With her, I think it's more and more it's this confidence where she's an upperclassman now, and she's a tremendous shooter. I mean, she leads the SEC in three-point shooting. She's 5th in three-pointers made, but she's also been very good off the dribble as well, driving to the basket, getting to the free throw line a little bit. The mid-range has been there. I think she's just expanded her game a little bit, and doing that little bit of, driving to the basket a few times per game and pulling up, in the mid-range has made defenses play her honestly, which gives her better looks from three-point range, because now they're also expecting her to put it on the floor. So she's really just put all elements of her offensive game together, and it's really opened things up for her.
Hey, Brad, we talked about the injury stuff for tonight. With McKeer, came out with that, I guess, with an ice pack on her hip after she fell. Latson a little bit was not feeling well. I mean, any idea what's going on with Tania Latson at this point, Brad?
That'll be the first question for Coach in the pregame interview. But from what I could see, she's had just those nagging injuries all year long with the leg injuries. Both of them have been called leg injuries going into today's game, where it's just she's just kind of beat up, if that's the best way to say it. She's an older player. She's had these nagging injuries all year, and sometimes it just gets to be painful for her. So I think it's just, she had the ankle injury earlier in the year where she missed a few games. So just little things like that just keep creeping up, and sometimes it just gets a little bit too much. So, knock wood, hopefully it's nothing serious. Both players made the trip with us, and hopefully they'll be back soon. But with Tanaya, I think I think the prognosis is a little bit better than what it might have looked at Auburn when people saw her on the bench and she had the brace on the knee and all that kind of stuff. I think she's just a little beat up and just needs a little rest, and hopefully the Gamecocks can do without her for today. And I don't know how much longer she'll be out, but hopefully they can get her rested and get her back in there because they're going to need her. The second half of SEC play, I think we've got 3 road games against ranked teams, so it's going to be a tough stretch here in the last month.
Brad Bowler with us ahead of the call tonight, Carolina at A&M. Everybody got off the bench last night. Everybody that came in, starters, bench players, all scored, including Alicia Turnebies, who, the newcomer from France, 2 points, 4 boards. But she got her points late. But, hey, they count, and so everybody scored. I'm curious, Brad, how you see her away from games where we get to see her more, what she's doing in practice to get acclimated, and do you feel like tonight provides an opportunity for her to maybe see a few more minutes? With all due respect, considering the team that A&M puts out there, does this give Dawn a chance to get her some more meaningful time?
I think so, and I hope it turns out that way, because when you think about it, this is a high school-aged kid that came in early, at mid-semester, and she has acclimated so well to, learning this, trying to learn the system, learn the plays, while also trying to understand a different language. It's one thing to be able to speak another language, but, when you learn it in class, but to live it in real life and on a basketball court, to understand what's going on in real time. I think that's, the bigger challenge for someone like her, but I think she's handled everything great. She works really hard. She's very attentive. She has a terrific shot, and I think this will be a tremendous opportunity for her, perhaps today, to get some meaningful minutes. A&M doesn't have a ton of size. They've been working on plays, trying to get her more involved, specifically to use her height. Some lobs inside to her. I've seen that over the last couple of weeks, and she doesn't look like someone who just should still be playing, high school level ball. So I think this would be a good opportunity for her to, hopefully get some valuable minutes and take another step forward, because I do believe she can help this team this year.
A&M, record-wise, not very good, Brad. You go to College Station, a little bit later tip because it's, again, in Texas. A game like this tonight, again, you're on a roll, you're playing really well, you smacked Auburn all over the place. Now you get a team who's really scuffling and struggling. Obviously, letdowns you don't want, and hopefully this team will continue moving forward. What's the one thing you got to look out for in an A&M team that's really had trouble this year?
From a South Carolina standpoint, you want to jump on them early like you did at Auburn. South Carolina in that game had an early 14-0 run, and that really put the game away. And, against a team like Texas A&M that is indeed struggling, I think you got to jump on them early and don't allow them to feel like they can stay in it. They struggle to shoot the basketball. They're last in the SEC in field goal percentage and three-point shooting, next to last in rebounding. They've got a couple of good players that can hurt you. They've got a tiny guard in Nicera Pryor, who's really good, their top scorer. She's good on both ends of the floor. She's averaging 15 points a game, nearly 7 assists, and leads the league with almost 4 steals per game. So she can be a little thorn in your side if you're not taking care of the basketball. She can get herself a lot of layups. They've got a decent forward in Fatmata Janae, who's averaging nearly a double-double. They just don't have a lot of quality depth after that. So, again, I think from South Carolina's standpoint, if you can jump on them early, hopefully you can keep them down where they are. This league keeps beating up on each other, and you hope this isn't a night where, the underdog comes through playing at home. But, this is a team South Carolina needs to beat, and hopefully they can jump on them early like they did on the road at Auburn the other night.
Brad, good stuff, man. Appreciate you. Go have some more steak. Bring some back if you need to, or some brisket.
I would love some leftover steak, Brad. Just saying.
You know,
I'll
or
see
some
what I
ice
can do.
cream. It's cold enough. Just bring it. It'll still be
fine.
good.
Just put it in your car, Brad.
Well, see, it's warm here. It's like in the 50s. I don't know if the ice cream will stay. So.
Brad Muller, our buddy, the voice of the Gamecocks tonight, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip with Brad and Ed Bird. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, we'll see you, bud. We'll come back. A little Jay or Nay here on the postgame show on the Game and the Game Network.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out this sweet deal. Get a home exterior pressure wash from Ford's Full Court Pressure Wash for only $15. Just click on Sweet Deals.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Ethos. Learn more and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. Justin Jefferson said the quiet part out loud. Everyone knows that the Vikings would have been better off if Sam Darnold would have stayed, but when your star wide receiver says it, things might get a little awkward between him and J.J. McCarthy next season. McCarthy has a lot to improve upon from last year, and it already cost the Vikings GM their job. I'm Adam Abdallah.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ Soft Serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into Soft Serve, plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation.
Is your crawl space damp or musty? Water in your crawl space can cause wood to rot and creates an environment for mold and mildew that can make its way inside your home. Canty Foundation Specialist specializes in crawl space repair. Call us today for your free inspection so you can have the peace of mind knowing your crawl space is dry and your home is protected. Call today, 803-424-8380, or visit cantycanfixit.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice. With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey everyone, it's Nikki, manager of Kreger Showrooms Columbia, formerly The Nest. That's right, we have rebranded our name, but we still offer a wide variety of affordable products in plumbing, lighting, and appliances. Graham, Mandy, Rachel, and Brian will be happy to help you find exactly what you are looking for to make you love your home. We look forward to giving you the attention you deserve and provide you with exceptional customer service. Kreger Showrooms Columbia, located at 1331 Gadsden Street in the Vista. Come see us today.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. Let's do some Jay or Nay. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
I'll get a little Jay or Nay in here. Coming up in just a minute here on the Postgame Show.
Hey, by the way, before you do this,
yep,
I have to say something, and I'm being serious. I thought about this over the weekend because I've made zero secrets of my dislike for Patrick Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me on Jay or Nay the other day how I felt about Patrick Reed coming back, and I was like, nay. But I was watching the Farmers Open at Torrey Pines. Justin Rose absolutely ran away with it, set a record that or he beat a record held by Tiger Woods. Whenever you do that, that's pretty cool, especially because Tiger won that tournament 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
But they were talking about Koepka coming back, and they were talking about Reed coming back later this year. And while I still don't like him, and I am being serious, I'm not, and look, I'm not paid by the PGA Tour to be some PR rep. I did think about it, Terry, and he is a good golfer, and he is coming back, and the best golfers do belong on the PGA Tour. So while I don't like Patrick Reed, and I just as soon he do whatever, it is good for the sport that Patrick Reed is coming back to the PGA Tour.
Wow.
So I gotta at least.
You okay?
Yeah, I slipped on the ice.
Jeez.
But I thought about that, and I was like, I should, as subjective as I can be on this show, because part of what we do is give opinions, and sometimes we do it with a little frivolity thrown in, and that's a lot of times how I am with certain things, including my dislike of Patrick Reed. I did have to think objectively for a minute, and I was like, it is good for the PGA
because you need a guy.
It is good for golf.
You need a guy who's going to cheat on his scorecard and
you need a
move
villain.
the ball
you need
around
a heel
on the course. Yeah, you need that guy.
So anyway,
yeah.
I still feel the way I feel about him, but I'll at least pull back a little bit objectively so that I can let everybody know I am objective about a lot of things. So in that respect, because I know some of you out there actually like Patrick Reed. That's cool.
Now you have said in the past that he has a very punchable face. Has that changed?
I plead the fifth.
Let's get a little Jay or Nay in here. All right, Michigan and Michigan State played over the weekend. Both coaches accusing each other's teams of dirty play.
Yeah.
Screwing
You know what that means? You know what that means?
What does that
it means they're both right.
Yes. But here, I'll throw this question at you. We know he's an old man now, but would you screw with Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo, a Youper?
No. Nay. I'm not, nay. Listen, you mentioned guys that have a system that works. That's Tom Izzo. I like what Dusty's doing with Michigan, and he's a good coach. Had some good things. He was at FAU, right? FAU.
Yep, got him to the Final Four.
Yeah, but don't mess with Tom Izzo. But they're both right. If they're both saying it, that means they're both right.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy enough.
I think Izzo would absolutely shiv you in the handshake line.
No.
I think so.
No.
Don't make Izzo mad. I'm telling you.
He would just get somebody else to do it.
That's right. Well, he had video surveillance of him walking his dog to make sure he's got video proof he wasn't part of it. All right, very weird story.
But that's a nice win for Michigan.
Michigan's really arguably the best team.
They're
in America.
good, man.
They're very good.
They're good.
All right, weird story. Tuskegee basketball coach Benji Taylor was led off the court in handcuffs after talking to security guards at Morehouse that some Morehouse football players were screaming obscenities in the handshake line that was meant for basketball players. And then, according to reports, Benji Taylor is let off in handcuffs. Jay or nay on any situation that doesn't involve a felony to lead a basketball coach off in handcuffs?
Nay, it's a terrible look for Morehouse for not de-escalating this. They have a security guy who claimed he was being very aggressive. All right, well, I mean, he didn't hit anybody. I mean, he's verbal, but I think he's onto something, and I think their conference is going to have to look into this. Why are football players down on the basketball court in postgame talking smack?
Right.
Why is that allowed? Why is Morehouse allowing their football players on the basketball court in postgame? I don't care how big or small the gym is. You can't do that. And from what Coach Taylor said, there are rules against it. When I saw this morning, I said I had to go find 3 different different articles to make sure that all of them kind of corroborated the stories. And
so
it's surreal.
So
surreal, man. But I am on his side. That was a bad look for what Morehouse did to him. And he did go back home with him. But
finally, the groundhog saw its shadow. 6 more weeks of winter. Jay or nay? We need to have a talk with that groundhog.
It's going to be in the 50s in Columbia in a couple of days. I'm used to it. So
Matt, hey,
you do, Punxsutawney Phil.
All right. Hey, you have a good night, my friend. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, man. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. Now, all lottery purchases come with more chances to win cash, merchandise, and other great prizes with the launch of Players Club Rewards. Scan your winning or non-winning tickets in the SC Lottery app and start winning more. See SCEducationLottery.com for more information.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Cooler weather is coming, which means more time spent in your home with family and friends. Make sure your home is ready. At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment to get your heating and cooling system in prime condition. And speaking of spending more time indoors, ask about AAA Heating and Air's indoor air quality products that eliminate odors, remove allergens, and can even reduce the spread of some airborne viruses while you sleep. Picture this. You're watching a nail-biter game. Food's in the oven, and suddenly, everything goes dark. Don't let storms and power outages ruin your plans. Get a free consultation for a whole home standby generator with easy financing. Join the AAA Comfort Club for added discounts and priority scheduling. Call AAA Heating and Air at 803-677-1500 today. Home with a $1,500 buyback, no payments for 1 whole year, and 0% financing. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free. It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
Alrighty, we got a few accidents to add to the other couple we had, about a half hour ago? All right, accidents reported. Main Street near College Street in Columbia, in Lexington, Sunset Boulevard, between North Lake Boulevard and Mineral Springs Road. Also, the two we talked about earlier still getting cleared and cleaned up. Highway 321 at Wood Trail Drive and 77 northbound at Forest Drive, exit 12. We'll come back, 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media. Also, we have women's basketball tonight here on 107.5 The Game. The number 3 Gamecocks women will travel to College Station to take on a struggling Texas A&M squad. 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip with Brad Muller doing the call, and our buddy Ed Bird on the board. That is again tonight, coverage starting at 7:30.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. checking out what's up in the world of sports.
This just in, breaking news is breaking out everywhere.
The 5 o'clock news on the Postgame Show.
If you're just joining us, I'm covering some breaking news. You know news is breaking because I'm telling you so, and I might touch my earpiece like this.
Sponsored by Integrated Media, Columbia's premier home theater and security experts for over 20 years. On the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
All right, time to check the 5 o'clock news, sponsored by our buds at Integrated Media. Again, South Carolina women going at it tonight against Texas A&M and College Station. A&M only one SEC victory so far this year. They've been struggling. South Carolina, since that Oklahoma loss, rebounding by blowing out previously unbeaten Vanderbilt, giving the Commodores their first loss, and then going on to the Plains and just knocking Auburn around. Can the momentum keep going against a struggling Texas A&M squad? You feel like it should. That's tonight's 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. The men over the weekend lost a tough one in overtime to LSU. The Tigers, again, without their point guard. But that didn't matter as LSU, they led by double digits early. South Carolina, give them credit. Gamecocks got the game back to tie and then took the lead. They kind of seesawed back and forth and things of that nature. But then the Gamecocks, they lose a tough one in OT to LSU, 92-87. Again, the stats to look at. Yes, South Carolina missed some free throws late. It hurt them. But at the rim, the Gamecocks were 10 of 23. That's less than 50% at the rim. While LSU was 20 of 24. Think about that for a minute. That's at the rim. That is 10 more buckets, 20 more points at the rim for LSU than South Carolina. Part of that was lack of interior defense, and LSU scoring easy buckets in the paint. Part of that was transition basketball. LSU either getting a turnover or a rebound and turning it into transition hoops. LSU had 19 fast break points in this game. Those are the things that lose you basketball games. South Carolina now only ahead of Oklahoma in the SEC standings at this point at 2-7. Lamont Paris postgame talking about the sequence at the end of overtime that really kind of decided this basketball game.
Yeah, I think there was a delta of 9 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock, and down one, I just, every team's different. Every team has a different DNA. And I've had some teams where I wouldn't consider not just playing it out there. 9 makes it a little tricky. If it's 12 or 13, you're definitely going to play it out. If it's 5 or 6, you're definitely not going to play it out. Usually, some people do, but me, I'm probably not going to play it out. But it was right at 9 in that questionable range for this particular team. So they were getting stuff. They had gotten a couple lobs, the ball screen. It wasn't like we had our most stellar defensive day. So what I wanted to do was in the backcourt, trap the ball in the backcourt, and try to get a steal. Sure, if we could get a steal, but they're going to be pretty conservative once they get the ball past half court. So once it came across half court, we were going to run whoever was guarding Tamba was going to run at the ball, double team the ball, and then we'd go into scramble mode. And what that incites is a quicker shot. So if they do score and you're down by 3, you have the delta is no longer 9 seconds. The delta is 25 seconds maybe, 20 as it turns out. I think it was once he made that shot.
That's basically Lamont talking about that last sequence where Max McKinnon makes a three-pointer. Part of that was, South Carolina, a couple times in that, and Lamont talked about it, they trapped the ball in the half court. They were in a half-court trap. And it worked, but it didn't work. I mean, the trap was well executed. You did what you wanted to do. You put heat on the ball handler. Clock is running. It's a 1-point game. Then the ball gets to Max McKinnon, the only good three-point shooter, consistently good three-point shooter on the LSU squad, and McKinnon bangs a three-pointer. And that's, kind of all she wrote. So, again, when things aren't going your way, when you're having a bad season, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. For example, you missed some key free throws, and you've been a good free throw shooting team all year. Again, when you're struggling, the bad finds you. Just does. And I know that's like, wow, Tara, that was pretty gripping analysis. It's just the truth, though. If you've ever been on a bad team or gone through a streak of bad luck, it finds you. It's like, you're sitting in your place watching TV. You open the door. Hey, look, it's bad luck. Great. Sometimes he just says hi on your porch and leaves, and sometimes he comes in the house and moves in with you. But when you're struggling, when you're having a bad season, if it can go wrong, it does go wrong. Just like in life. And again, you execute well with a trap in the half court. You have the ball handler pretty much stuck, dead to rights, but it doesn't end up working out for you. So we'll hear more from Lamont in the Gamecock Notebook coming up at 5:15. Next up, though, for the South Carolina men, they will, Texas is next up for South Carolina. That is coming up tomorrow night, if my memory serves me. And you can hear it right here on the Game in Columbia and also in Myrtle Beach. All right, we got this little thing called the Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl week. You go through that weird week last week where there is nothing going on football-wise except off the field news. Now we're back in football mode for the Patriots and the Seahawks. Mike Vrabel talking to the media about his experience on 3 title teams and how that can translate to Mike Vrabel, the head coach.
Well, I think I've always said that that's the blueprint for what we're trying to do. I don't think we're ever going to, replicate, nor are we trying to replicate any of those teams. But I think that it's a blueprint of the hard work, of the connection that those teams had, the attention to detail, being able to perform in high intensity environments, making plays in critical situations. That everything that I knew for 3 of those anyways is what we're trying to replicate and have a blueprint for.
Yeah, look, those Patriots Super Bowl teams, they all made plays. A lot of those Patriots Super Bowls were close. Hell, Adam Vinatieri might be the most unsung hero in Patriot history, the kicker. Made the game-winning kick way back against the Rams in that first New England Super Bowl victory. Made the game-winning kick against the Panthers as well, the points that won that game. Vinatieri, that's what he's done. Remember, he made the kick in the snow against the Raiders in that controversial AFC Championship game. So New England has just made plays. Remember that last Patriots Super Bowl victory with Tom Brady, that snoozer against the Rams. We thought it was going to be a high-flying, high-scoring game, and that thing was like TV melatonin. But again, the Patriots made the few plays and key moments to get a win. Remember the comeback against Atlanta. And the huge play, the interception against the Seahawks the last time these two went at it. The Patriots, it seemed like, for the most part, always made plays when they had to make plays. And, Vrabel's taking a lot of that with him. One thing about those New England Patriot teams that we don't talk enough about is the high football IQ they had. Belichick always valued smart players. Yeah, he wanted skilled players and fast players and athletic players and all those things, but he wanted guys with high football IQs. Now, I've said this before. I remember being told by Mike Pettin, who was a linebacker coach with the Ravens at the time, we were having a conversation about a player, and he said, fellas, you can't win with too many dumb guys. I think Indiana's part of that. Very smart football team, high football IQ, never beat themselves. The Patriots were like that through a dynasty, just very rarely beat themselves. Did they lose games? Sure, everybody does. But they very rarely beat themselves. You had to go beat them because they weren't going to give you anything. Now, again, what, Seattle 4.5-point favorites? But I think Seattle's a better team, yeah. I think they're better at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think they have better weapons. I think their special teams, both teams have good special teams. Seattle, though, and both teams have return men that can, if you get sloppy, they can take one to the house on you. I think, both teams have good defenses. I just think Seattle is the better all-around team. On offense, if Sam Darnold, and look, I gave Sam Darnold a ton of props after that NFC Championship game because Darnold was really good. If Sam Darnold plays clean, Seattle wins, and I think they cover the number. If Darnold becomes Sam Darnold and starts seeing ghosts, and all of a sudden, the Clint Kubiak, the Seattle offensive coordinator, saying, Sam, throw the ball to the guys in the Seahawk jerseys, not the guys in the Patriot jerseys. Then that's trouble. But again, if Darnold plays a clean game, he does not have to play the level he played in the NFC Championship game against the Rams. Darnold had to play that well in that game. If he plays 80% of that, I think Seattle wins as long as Darnold doesn't get sloppy with the rock. We'll talk more about this week. But there's Mike Vrabel talking about his experience. Now, again, Mike McDonald, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, has never been the head coach in a Super Bowl. Neither is Mike Vrabel, but Vrabel, again, has won rings as a player in New England. So does that experience help you? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends. But we'll see. But again, Seattle 4.5-point favorites in the Super Bowl. 5 o'clock news sponsored by our buds at Integrated Media. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us as we cook this thing on till 6 on the game. NFL notes real quick. The head coaching carousel has stopped moving. The Vegas Raiders, after the Super Bowl, will announce Clint Kubiak, the Seahawks offensive coordinator, as their new head coach. The Arizona Cardinals have their head coach as well. Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur. The younger brother of Green Bay Packer head coach Matt LaFleur. I guess if you are, there's an interesting question that if you are, for example, Clint Kubiak, you are looked at as a high-profile future head coaching candidate because of what you've done in Seattle. You've worked with Kevin O'Connell. You've worked with, Kyle Shanahan. Your offense in Seattle, really good. Sam Darnold, really good. Blah, 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 blah. If you're Clint Kubiak, the Raiders, look, they're owned by Lloyd Christmas. The Cardinals, bad ownership, bad organization, can't get out of their own way. Same thing with the Raiders. If you're Clint Kubiak, there was a question, could you pull a Ben Johnson and just wait? Like Ben Johnson did when he was the OC in Detroit and he ended up landing in Chicago, and look how good that turned out for Ben Johnson and the Bears. Do you, if you're Clint Kubiak, look at these two organizations and go, they're disasters, I'll pass. I'll stay and be the OC in Seattle again next year. I know it's tough to do because these, head coaching gigs are only 32 of them. But Kubiak will be the head coach with the Raiders. You got the first pick overall, second most cap space in the NFL, and you hope that at some point Tom Brady and the front office can get the stink of this Mark Davis regime off of them. Last one, the Arizona Cardinals. Again, they hire Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator with the Rams. And I just wish that the Arizona Cardinals came out with a big statement. I wish they just would have said this. We hired Mike LaFleur as the head coach because he was the only guy who didn't turn us down. And Mike LaFleur would have said, I'm taking the job to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals because, well, nobody else offered me. There's a 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media. We'll come back. Gamecock Notebook. We'll hear more from men's basketball coach Lamont Paris about the loss to LSU over the weekend. That's next on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3, South Carolina's newest sports station.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Sponsored by SC Education Lottery. The South Carolina Education Lottery encourages all of their players to learn about your play before you pay. To learn how the odds work, common lottery myths, and the signs of problem gambling, check out scheducationlottery.com/betteryou. Playing the lottery for fun is a win for education.
Even the best players need a strong team behind them. Atkins Law is always there for you, whether you're hurt on the job or in a motor vehicle accident. Who you hire matters.
You focus on recovery, and we'll handle the rest. As proud Gamecock alumni, we understand what it means to have a good support system on and off the court.
So when life takes an unexpected turn, trust the team that fights for you.
Call us at 803-251-6406 or visit hollyatkinslaw.com.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the third-generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Hey Gamecocks, this is Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Are you interested in upgrading your lawnmower and saving some serious money? We've got our entire Gravely commercial lineup marked at 20% off MSRP. Take advantage of some serious preseason savings on some of the industry's best zero-turn and stand-on mowers. Cato's Power Equipment is Columbia's home for the tools you need to maintain your turf. Don't spend more on your mower. Come to Cato's Power Equipment.
Thanks again. Really appreciate you guys.
Where have you been, Roger?
Man, they really are the best hookers in town.
What?
No wonder why they have so many 5-star reviews.
The best hookers in town? You got a ride home from the best hookers in town?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't have done it any other way.
What?
I gave them a call, they showed up super quick, and then they brought me and my car home. I mean, talk about service.
You just let me get a look at these so-called hookers. Oh, it's Schroeder's Towing. Oh, they really are the best.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
It's the biggest game on the planet, and nobody breaks it down like Jim Rome.
Who do you think will be the last one standing this year?
Fearless debate and the best callers in sports.
On any given week, you have lots to beef about. Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
Big games, big opinions, and zero mercy.
We will get to all of that. You've been warned.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
A lot to get to, and I'm not sure you're going to like all of it. I don't even care if you like all of it or not. I have a job to do.
The Jim Rome Show.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls,
No missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 1075 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. It's time to open the Gamecock Notebook on the Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network.
Gamecock Notebook here on the Postgame Show. Get back to men's head basketball coach Lamont Paris talking about what happened at CLA. It was a weird day. The game got moved to earlier because of the weather. Not a whole lot of folks at CLA. I give you credit if you were there. Thumbs up to you. Overtime loss, 92-87, a game that was there to win. And you only have a couple more of those this year that, you looked at that you have I should say this. After watching this basketball team all season, there's only a couple of games where you feel like they have a legit opportunity to win. It's not to say they won't win more than that. It's not to say it won't get turned around. But as you're watching this thing and how it unfolds, your eyeballs and your gut and your brain tell you that the Missouri and Mississippi State games at home are the last two where you go, they got a shot there. The other one was Saturday against LSU. You couldn't get the deal done despite the fact the Tigers were without their starting point guard. And you come down with an L at home. Here's Lamont Paris talking about that South Carolina, they did play more, go more inside early in this game than they typically have done. It's been a ton of three-point shooting this year, but it seemed like more of a concerted effort to get the ball inside, especially early.
Yeah, they were switching a lot of stuff, and then so, we would do it more if we were. We've been up and down in terms of our ability to take advantage of a switch in those situations and keep a smaller guy on our back. It's not the easiest thing. They're quick. They have an advantage that way around there. But so we did that some. There was one stretch in particular where that was what we were doing. And in the second half, honestly, that's the way we wanted to try to start. The very first play that we ran was in order to set a back screen knowing that they would switch it. Eli came off of it. I said, hey, if he's wide open for a layup, throw it to Eli, but he probably won't be because they're switching. And then when they switch, Elijah, you roll back with a small guy on you. And so we threw it to Eli, who didn't have a layup at that point. And so, and sometimes as a coach, that'll discourage you from, whereas if you do it exactly the way that you want and he gets it in there and gets fouled or gets a bucket and you're like, that's right, that's exactly what we're doing the whole rest of the half. So sometimes that's what goes into some of your decisions. But yeah, I did want to get the ball in there when they were switching. A lot of people in our league do that. We typically, I like to throw the ball inside. We had varying success in terms of finishing. But we did draw some fouls in there, and so ultimately we got it in there some, but probably not enough.
South Carolina, let's see, 22, 23, overall 19 of 45 from 2, 9 of 24 from 3, so roughly about half the shots taken from three-point range. And South Carolina's typically shot almost half their taking half their shots from three-point range this year. But the sad part here is 10 of 23 at the rim was a killer. We've talked about it through the show. Your opportunities at the rim, you've got to hit better than 10 of 23. The flip side was LSU was 20 of 24 at the rim. They threw down 8 dunks. South Carolina 3 or 4 on dunks. But even you take away the rim, 9 for 22 from the mid-range. So, an overall, just a disappointment, especially when you're letting LSU get to the rim and score on 20 occasions. Matter of fact, away from the rim, LSU away from the rim to the three-point line, LSU was 2 of 14. He just couldn't keep them off the rim. Lamont likes to force teams to take, contested tough twos, mid-range shots. And LSU, 2 of 14. So that part of the game plan worked perfect. Problem was giving up 20 for 24 at the rim, also surrendering 8 dunks. And LSU, typically not a good three-point shooting team, knocked down 9 in 22 attempts. All right, also, here's Lamont talking about the struggles, what went wrong for South Carolina in the OT session.
Yeah, we weren't doing a great job defensively, and so then when we were really trying to help, I think it put us at risk of a couple of offensive rebounds. There were a couple key ones that we could have gotten, I thought, that squirted out of there, and we didn't get them. We fouled. We had them in a good trap one time. I thought it was a really good trap with only a couple seconds left on the shot clock, and then we weren't as disciplined. And so we fouled. We reached and fouled. It's one thing. You got to play physical at that time. You can't let guys get layups and your body. You foul with the body. Refs don't even want to call those kinds of body fouls at that type of game, and they probably shouldn't. Either way, I've been on both sides of it. But we reached and fouled, and that put them to the free throw line. And they made their free throws. We had some opportunities. We had some opportunities that we didn't take advantage of, and so just was disappointing.
It was tough. I mean, you had your shots in overtime, your opportunities, like Lamont said, and you couldn't seal the deal. While LSU took advantage of their opportunities and walk out of CLA with the overtime win. I mean, you look here at LSU. Let's see, they missed their first free throw of OT. And after that, they missed a couple of free throws in overtime, to be fair, but they made shots. They made some plays in overtime. The big one was the three-pointer at the end. That was tough. When McKinnon makes the three, that gives LSU a 4-point lead, and then Rashad King made 1 or 2 free throws, and Markel Sutton finished it up with a dunk. But it's just LSU made the big plays late when it's a 1-point game in overtime, while South Carolina, they missed some shots. I'll give Meechie Johnson credit. Meechie has been on kind of a heater here lately. Played well again. Again, not the most efficient shooting the ball from the field, but Meechie got to the line 11 times, made 9 free throws. Missed a huge one in overtime. Only 5 of 13 from the floor, 2 of 7 from 3, but did get to the line 11 times. Had 6 assists with only 2 turnovers. So Meechie here lately has been, look, there are some games like the one on Saturday where Meechie probably not efficient from the floor, but got to the line a bunch. Meechie is trying to create offense. Now, should he be the guy put in that position consistently? No, but he is here lately, especially, has probably walked off the floor as their best player overall, especially on the offensive end of the court. But, for the most part, you look up and down the lineup. Meechie, with his 21, Kobe Knox lately has also been contributing with 15, 5, 11 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3, and Knox got to the line 6 times. South Carolina got to the line 31 times. LSU only 25. Problem was South Carolina missed 9 free throws. LSU only missed 4. That was another component of the basketball game. All right, next up, of course, tomorrow night, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip. South Carolina back at it at Texas. You can hear it right here on the game in Columbia and our affiliate in Myrtle Beach as well. Pop back, take a drive around the SEC. Get you caught up on what's going on in the Southeastern Conference. That is next here on the postgame show on the Game and the Game Network in Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 96.9 The Game in Charleston, 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach, and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today at qckinetics.com.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers statewide. Officers must be at least 18 years of age and have a high school diploma or GED. If you have correctional, police, security, or military experience, you can join their team at a promotional rank as a sergeant or lieutenant. Discover a rewarding correctional career with room for long-term career advancement and a generous employee benefits package that cares for you and your family. Visit joinscdc.com to apply today. Sponsored by SC Department of Corrections, SCBA, and this station.
Looking for a dealership that treats you like family? Come to Herndon Chevrolet, where we've been proudly serving Lexington and the Midlands for over 50 years. Whether you're shopping for a new or pre-owned vehicle or just need expert service, you'll find it all right here. Shop online anytime at HerndonChevy.com or stop by and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Even the best players need a strong team behind them. Atkins Law is always there for you, whether you're hurt on the job or in a motor vehicle accident. Who you hire matters.
You focus on recovery, and we'll handle the rest. As proud Gamecock alumni, we understand what it means to have a good support system on and off the court.
So when life takes an unexpected turn, trust the team that fights for you.
Call us at 803-251-6406 or visit hollyatkinslaw.com.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Don't let a plumbing problem turn your home into a disaster zone. The local plumbing experts, On Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air is ready to tackle everything from a pesky drip to a major pipe burst. With 24-hour service, no hidden fees, no surprises. 803-781-HELP or OnCallSC.com.
On Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Pick up the phone and we'll be right there. Call 781-HELP.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
All right, we have a few extra accidents. Here we go. Clemson Road at Hardscrabble, Manual Church Road at West Dunbar. And then a couple of them that we've been kind of keeping an eyeball on, Main Street near College Street in Columbia. In Lexington, Sunset Boulevard between North Lake Drive and Mineral Springs Road. And Richland, this one just popped up, Syrup Mill Road between Woodlander Drive and Primrose Drive. Coming up tonight, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip. The women in College Station taking on a struggling A&M crew. Brad Muller on the call. Our buddy Ed Bird punching the buttons again. 7:30, our coverage starts right here on The Game. Really 107.5 The Game in Columbia.
It's time for our drive around the SEC on the Postgame Show.
Georgia on the mountaintop. Demons be gone, and the drought is over. National champions.
On the Game Network and on 107.5, the Game app.
you caught up on what's going on in the SEC as we're doing the drive around the SEC. But first, I've got to play you this cut. Mick Cronin, basketball coach at UCLA, Mick's UCLA squad got to the championship game and got to the Final Four a couple years ago. And got beat on that miracle shot by Jalen Suggs of Gonzaga in that national semifinal. Well, Mick had a very rough double overtime loss at home to Indiana on Saturday. And the media was trying to say, hey, defensively, you guys have been pretty good lately, or early in the game you were better defensively than later. Trying to spin a little positivity into the loss. Mick Cronin was having none of that stuff.
Yeah, when we lose, buddy, I'm not like a lot of the people in life. I see no bright spots.
The defense for the first 10 minutes was pretty solid.
Our defense was bad all night.
Points.
They missed shots. That doesn't mean it's good defense.
Guys had been playing better defensively before today.
What you were doing before today in life, Ben, doesn't matter, man. What the hell's that got to do with it? You either, and today doesn't matter. We play Tuesday.
This was like a Saturday Night Live skit. Mick Cronin dropping it, man. Wow. I'm sorry. I mean, and he's not wrong, but the media guys like, coach, your defense was good early. I wasn't good early. Our defense sucked. They were just missing shots. Those shots were open. Coach, up until this game, your defense. What is the past doesn't matter, Ben? What the hell does that have to do with anything? Past doesn't help us today. Why don't you leave, Ben? Take your other sunshine shooting media yahoos with you. We lost. We sucked. There was nothing good. So there. But go home. Kick my neighbor. Mick Cronin. That was good. That was good. Anyway, all right, to the SEC. SEC hoops over the weekend. Kentucky beat Arkansas at Arkansas. Kentucky getting a win over Coach Cal. They were excited. They were saying that was the biggest win of Mark Pope's career. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but that was a nice win for Kentucky. Vandy held off Ole Miss. A&M with a nice win at Georgia. Buckyball's real, man. Like I said, I want to see what happens when the league adjusts to what Bucky McMillan's doing at A&M. Right now, Bucky McMillan's the coach of the year in the SEC, in my opinion. Texas went to Norman, beat Oklahoma. Missouri outlast Mississippi State at home. Tennessee, they took out Auburn 77-69. The Vols are starting to get it going a little bit. And on Sunday, Florida, they boat raced Alabama 100-77. With Charles Bediako, again, from the G League. Since Bediako has showed up, Alabama, I think, they 1-3 now? Bediako contributed 6 points in this basketball game and also heard the chant. We played it earlier, re-rack it for you. Here are the Florida fans chanting to Charles Bediako as he was at the free throw line.
That foul on that guy, Alex Condon. Trying to tap it in. It was just boy, Bediako.
I'm sorry, that's funny too. G League dropout. That was good. That was good. Good job, Florida fans. As the Gators again waxed Alabama 177. Tide this year has a really bad allergy to guarding people. Offense is still really good, but the defense, ick. All right, real quick, SEC standings. The Aggies are 7-1. They lead the SEC. The Gators, defending national champions, are 7-2, a half game behind. Then Vandy, Arkansas, Kentucky, all 6-3, followed by Tennessee at 5-3. Then Missouri and Auburn at 5-4. The Tide are 4-4. Longhorns and Bulldogs 4-5. Ole Miss sitting at 3-5. Mississippi State at 3-6. Then LSU and South Carolina at 2-7, and Oklahoma at 1-8. I saw this. I thought this was kind of an interesting little blurb from the college football world. Ty Simpson, former Alabama quarterback, now going into the NFL draft. Simpson reportedly was offered a lot of money to withdraw his name from the draft and take over at Miami as their starting quarterback. Of course, they're losing Carson Beck. The word was $6 million. But Simpson told AL.com playing for another school was never in the cards for him. Quote, "Last thing I wanted to do was tarnish my legacy and go somewhere else where I didn't go out of high school, and I didn't want to play. Hopefully in the draft, whenever my name gets written on a card, they write University of Alabama on there, and that's going to give me great pride." Interesting take. Because, I mean, Simpson, first of all, not to be mean, Ty Simpson doesn't really have a legacy at Alabama. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying you think of legacy careers at Alabama, Ty Simpson's is not one of them, but Simpson, it matters to him to go into the NFL as a member, an alum, I guess. He didn't graduate, but a guy who played all of his years at one place, Alabama. Plus, Simpson will get more money than he's going to would have gotten through the portal, because Simpson's going to be a first-round pick, probably somewhere in the 20s, most likely, in the first round. But it is interesting. Simpson could have went and taken NIL money, gone to Miami, made a pretty good amount of dough. That offense is very quarterback-friendly with Shannon Dawson. But again, you're risking injury, and you're risking putting tape down that was worse than the year before that really hurt your draft stock. Which is very interesting, Ty Simpson saying, you know what? I wanted to be able to always call myself an former Alabama player. This is not an SEC assistant coach or a head coach, but a former SEC head coach. Gus Malzahn is retiring from coaching. Florida State announced that today. Malzahn, of course, spent last year as the Florida Seminoles offensive coordinator. He was the OC at Auburn, of course, during the Cam Newton season. It led to a national title. Also, Malzahn, his high school, he was a head coach in high school, and his offenses in Arkansas were historic in how explosive and potent they were. Of course, at Auburn, he coached a team that was 13 seconds away from beating Florida State to win the national title, but lost that Jameis Winston crew. Malzahn also had some memorable wins against Alabama. After he left Auburn, he was the head coach from 2021 to 2024 at Central Florida as they transitioned to the Big 12. Malzahn walked away from Central Florida, and a lot of folks talked about he just wasn't digging the whole being a head coach and having to deal with the portal and NIL. He just wanted to go be a coordinator where he just had to worry about and focus on ball and recruiting, but not to the point of dealing with NIL budgets and transfer portals and all that other stuff. So Gus Malzahn retiring from coaching. The announcement was made Monday morning by Florida State. Who do they go after to be their OC? We'll see. All right, there's your drive around the SEC. We'll come back, hit a couple stories we did not get a chance to jump into, and a little Jay or Nay. Not Jay or Nay, Jay versus the Internet. That's coming up on the post-game show. Terry Ford, appreciate you hanging out with us on the game in Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Robinhood, your money, your move. With Clint Kubiak being named head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, Seahawks coach Mike McDonald will be looking for his third offensive coordinator in 3 years. We'll see if this has any impact on quarterback Sam Darnold, who finished top 10 in both touchdowns and yards in the regular season. This is why a lot of teams look for offensive-minded head coaches. It will be the first time 2 defensive head coaches will be in the Super Bowl in 7 years. I'm Adam Abdallah.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
The Postgame Show with Jay Phillips and Terry Ford on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube. And now, Jay versus the Internet. It's the Postgame Show on the Game Network.
We'll hit some Jay versus the Internet here in a minute. First interesting story bouncing out of the NBA. The Bucks, if you're an NBA head, you know that one of the league's upper-level guys for years now, Giannis Antetokounmpo, basically, the Bucks are ready to move him because I think he's ready to move. Milwaukee won an NBA title. Has it been 5 years now? 4 years? Something like that. I think it's been like 5 years since the Bucks won the championship with Giannis. After the Bucks won the championship, then they ran it back the next year, and they got kind of bounced in the playoffs earlier than folks thought they would. And then the Bucks, it felt like the front office had a meeting and said, okay, we've had a championship caliber team the last few years. We did win a title. Last year, we underachieved in the playoffs. What can we do now to screw the whole thing up? They started off by firing the head coach, Mike Budenholzer. then trading one of the best two-way guards in the league and really was the point man of an aggressive, gritty defense in Drew Holiday to get Damian Lillard. Look, I like Damian Lillard. He makes buckets. He makes shots. He scores points. But there are guys who just, because of whether it's mindset, ego, style of play, organization they've been with, there are guys who score a lot of points who just can't win championships with. And Damian Lillard's one of them. And you bring in Damian Lillard, he does not play defense. It takes away offense from your best offensive player, Giannis. And it just didn't work. It wasn't going to work. It was just a bad move from the get-go. You broke up a championship chemistry. Not bad if you want to bring in another scorer, but first of all, you don't give up your kind of like the heartbeat of your defense in Drew Holiday, who can also score. It's just not his game. He's not Damian Lillard. So Milwaukee decided they were going to make every possible decision they could to screw up what they had. Now, to be fair, Giannis was kind of stumping to go get Damian Lillard. And Milwaukee fell into let's go superstar hunting, which, again, does not work more than it works sometimes. So now it's gotten to the point where, well, Giannis doesn't want to say it publicly, but he's obviously frustrated with the direction of the franchise. He's probably in back channels whispered he wants to be moved. This is the time to move him. He's in his late 20s. Milwaukee they should get a decent haul for Giannis. The Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks feel like the top four. Could be a mystery team at some point. Golden State looks like they're in the best position when it comes to assets. If Milwaukee's smart, they probably wait till the offseason to do this, where you get more suitors, and you might be able to get even more for him. But yes, it looks like Giannis will get in. And you know, Giannis, one reason I like Giannis Antetokounmpo is he wanted to stay in Milwaukee and win a title in what is a small market. He didn't want to run to a bigger market, put himself together, building a super team. Giannis wanted to go win a title in Milwaukee, and he did it. And he stayed in Milwaukee. He wants to stay in Milwaukee now if the team was really good or he saw a path to being good in the future. But, you know, they're stuck with the salary cap, with draft assets. They're just in a bad spot. So Giannis will end up on another team. And probably, I'm not going to be stunned if it's done before the deadline, but it could very well happen in the offseason. So we'll see. All right, it's time to jump in here, get a little Jay versus the internet, substituting for Jay. Terry Ford. Like I always say, listen to my picks. Go the opposite. Win billions. All right, top 25 college hoops tonight. North Carolina at home. 11.5-point favorites over a Syracuse team that's been here. Head coach on the hot seat, Coach Autry. He's starting to bark back at folks. It's not pretty. I think North Carolina home covers the 11.5 against Syracuse. Texas Tech hosting Kansas. Texas Tech 4.5-point favorites. It depends. Is the fancy freshman Peterson playing for Kansas? If he is, Kansas could go to Texas Tech and win. I don't know what's going to happen with Peterson. Sometimes he, out of nowhere, gets hurt during the game. I'll take Texas Tech at home to cover the 4.5 against Kansas. NBA tonight. Few games. Matter of fact, the Hornets have just beaten the Pelicans 102-95, so I'll take the Hornets. Clippers at home. Sixers are coming into L.A. Clippers have been a lot better lately. Sixers 1.5-point favorites. I will take the Sixers to win in L.A. Pacers are terrible. They are home where they're 10-16. Rockets are coming in. Rockets 6.5-point favorites. I think Houston covers the number. Just not that the Rockets are a great road team. They're not. They're like 13-13 on the road. Pacers are just awful. No Tyrese Halliburton. They've had other injuries. They're just ugh. The Grizzlies are at home. Minnesota visiting Memphis. T-Wolves 5.5-point favorites. T-Wolves good road team, above average road team. Grizzlies terrible home team. The Wolves win and they cover the 5.5 on the road in Memphis. So there is your Jay versus the Internet. Tonight, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. The women traveling to College Station to face a very underwhelming Texas A&M squad. What was it, 1-7 in the SEC? That's tonight again, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip with our buddy Brad Muller. Tomorrow night, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock tip. The men travel to Austin to face the Texas Longhorns. You can hear that game with Derek Scott and Judge Manning tomorrow night here on The Game. Appreciate you hanging out with us, putting up with us. Jay and I will be back tomorrow at 3. We thank Brad Muller for hopping on with us. It's a post-game show. Best of the game coming up next. And again, women's basketball, 7:30 on 107.5 The Game in Columbia. See you.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
Sponsored by Miller Electric, now hiring.
Miller Electric Company is hiring experienced electricians in Aiken, South Carolina. Join a team with 97 years of industry leadership and unmatched career growth. If you have 3+ years of commercial or industrial electrical experience, apply today at millercareers.com/AIKEN.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. You know, too often guys will not go to the doctor when they're feeling off, whether it's because they think they can tough it out or because they don't want to talk about it. Don't be that guy. Get to feeling better after you see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. They are experts in healthcare for men, and they're dedicated to making you feel like yourself again. Call them up for a free consultation, 803-875-MENS, and learn more online at the Men's Clinic.